What if I told you there was potential belief within the wrestling community that Triple H is spearheading a conspiracy against CM Punk? Well, that is the plan that's been laid out by one former WWE superstar. We have that and so much more, including WWE's future plans for Saudi shows, an announcer shakeup, and so many more things. This is Off the Mat, your new wrestling obsession. Dom, Styx, boys, what's good? How are you this week?
Getting ready for the 4th of July, which is dropping tomorrow. Happy birthday to America. I don't know, nothing. Just little things prepared, getting ready. It'll be a busy month, man. So with a lot of things going on, just trying to keep my head above water.
That's always good. Don't drown.
Exactly.
I'm still recovering from Night of Champions, doing things for the show. Tomorrow is the 4th of July, and I don't have much going on this weekend. I
got my list right here to keep Styx honest this week.
You got your list right there? I got my list right here, too.
I got my list right here, and I know I'm above.
I've got one thing to nitpick about your picks, Dom, because, and we'll get to that when we get to that, but
that he was 3-3, and he started off 0-3. He was underwater hard.
He was underwater. He was doggy paddling there for a little bit.
I was like, curses! Damn it! I lost again. Damn it!
Foiled again. Oh well. No, you know what? We got a lot of wrestling coming up in the near future. A lot of wrestling if you watch all the brands in a couple weekends coming up.
Well, I tell you what, tomorrow is a taped show for SmackDown.
Yeah.
And
I've been trying to steer away from that.
I actually saw all the spoilers. I saw all the spoilers. I know what happens, but
I've been good.
I actually think Monday Night Raw was a pretty good show.
I thought it was the worst Raw in a long time.
It wasn't that bad, but we'll talk about that later on when it comes to because there's certain things I like. Look, it may be not your type of stuff, but there's certain things that I like to see when things happen. Confrontations, face to face, things that you want to see turn the WWE upside down, and we're getting that. We're getting that. We're getting some crazy stuff, and there's some crazy stuff on the way. Oh yeah. Congratulations to Roman Reigns' 6th child. Guy's a busy man. Yep, so
future tribal chief.
Yeah, exactly. Future tribal chief. Got 6 kids now. Jeez.
6 kids getting ready to star in a Street Fighter movie alongside Cody Rhodes.
Yep.
Got a lot going on.
A lot going on, man. Hey, it's a great time to be a wrestling fan. There's a lot going on now with all brands across the board, which we'll definitely talk about because there is a lot of things that are going on behind the scenes, which overshadows a lot of stuff that is good that we see in front of the camera. It's behind the scenes that questionable. So we'll see. We'll talk about that. We'll talk.
There's apparently a lot of things going on behind the scenes, Styx.
Yeah,
a lot of things.
A lot of things, man.
In the background, in the forefront, yeah. There's a lot of stuff going on.
The props, all the shit that's going on.
I want to say though, when we were talking about in the background, Dom, I hate to tell you that you called out Mr. Kaiser there, but you did.
It's not Ludwig Kaiser.
We don't know yet, but
it's not him. The body's not the right size.
It's kind of funny because when we saw that, somebody posted something, and I wrote a message in the post, and they were saying, "Oh well, America." I said, "Well, Kaiser is back in the fray. There's your possibly your El Grande Americano wannabe, which will bring the battle of the American El Grande Americanos when they come back, when Chad Gable comes
El Grande
back.
Americano is much Ludwig Kaiser as he is Chad Gable. All right,
exactly.
You're not the same person.
But Does that make him El Grande Germanicano?
Well, but it's going to be funny when we have.
Just
He
asking.
comes back. We're going to have them fight each other. I'm El
There you
Grande.
go.
No, you're
Mask
El
for
Grande.
mask. El Grande
Yeah.
Americano versus El Grande Americano. Kind of like they did with the two Sin Caras back in the day.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
All right. Starting us off tonight, we got a little bit of controversy. We all saw SmackDown riddled with technical difficulties. But what was it? Thursday here, we had the WWE press conference for kickoff for Night of Champions, which saw CM Punk be pretty much confronted by a fan about his previous comments in Saudi Arabia. Now, we have a former WWE superstar in the likes of Stevie Richards, potentially pushing this narrative that Triple H is allegedly leading a WWE conspiracy against CM Punk. And he was talking about this on his Stephen Richards show. And he says that he thinks Punk being made to lie in the ring just feet away from John Cena during the pipe bomb promo, while Cena badmouthed him for over 10 minutes, with Triple H is intentionally trying to make Punk look weak. He said, I think Triple H is so petty that he's not forgotten. He never forgot this, nor they just want to teach Punk a lesson as a company. Vince McMahon used to famously say, he said to Vince Russo, when he comes back in 2002, he said it to multiple people, you got to eat crap, pal. Well, it looks like Triple H is force-feeding Punk crap. Maybe they lulled him into a false sense of security with Drew McIntyre program, and then we're going to give you the night one main event of WrestleMania, of course. You're going to be glossed over because Seth is turning and going with Heyman and making the match completely forgettable. Then we had speculation that CM Punk was forced to apologize to fans in Saudi Arabia for his controversial tweet ahead of Night of Champions from years ago, where he told The Miz to go suck a blood money covered dick, you dork. So do you guys think that Triple H is... We've seen CM Punk say they buried the hatchet. Triple H brought Punk back. Do you guys see potentially CM Punk being what do I want to say? Do you see alleged conspiracy against Punk, or do you think it's Punk did the right thing by apologizing? Because Triple H did make comment when brought up in the press conference regarding it, and Dave Meltzer from the Wrestling Observer claimed that the fan was planted and that CM Punk's apology was planned in advance. Meltzer, and this is about to be a masterclass in just ridiculous, because Meltzer always is. That, by the way, was planted. Whatever, it is really interesting how whatever it was, obviously somebody wanted him to apologize, and he did it because he's not exactly the apologetic type, for one thing. And if you're going to apologize, I don't know if this is the thing you apologize for, given his political viewpoints and everything. But it's money and it's wrestling, and you don't expect wrestlers to have morals. Furthermore, Meltzer added that WWE usually protects CM Punk, but for this incident, they didn't. Instead, they ran a segment that made him look bad and pushed him to an apology. Meltzer claimed that WWE planned the entire CM Punk apology segment in Saudi Arabia. However, a conflicting report suggests that might not be the case. A report from Fightful Select revealed that WWE staff had not heard anything suggesting the fan was planted. Despite conflicting reports emerging about Punk's apology incident, his efforts were praised by Triple H for the Night of Champions press post show. He said, I was privileged to watch him grow as a human being, to step out here and apologize to the people of Saudi Arabia. He just cherished where he was at in life and his career and the things he gets to do and the opportunities he has. I was incredibly proud of him. Do we see this being a Triple H led thing? Do we think it was just Punk really growing? Do you feel like this fan was planted here? It's weird the way, like, all this went down, because CM Punk is always like the voice of the voiceless. His name is Punk. He's that guy that doesn't care. He says what he's going to say. The pipe bomb promo, that's what he's known for. And for him to come back and essentially be force-fed shit since he's been back in WWE, and he's just kind of has that, please, sir, can I have another mentality? I personally don't know if this is a Triple H plant or just kind of like as far as it looks like to me, it's like bygones have been bygones. They haven't really screwed Punk over, but they're not favoring Punk over the storyline either. So I don't know. What are your guys' thoughts on all that?
I'll say that I don't. You're right. They're not favoring him. They're not handing him anything. But remember, he also got injured for a while. So there's some delay maybe in that because of they had 1 or 2 injuries there. He had the arm injury.
One injury after WrestleMania. He was out for
so
again.
Right. That's what I kind of thought. So I have a feeling this is kind of Triple H going to him and saying, "Hey, listen, we need you to apologize. Because we're going to be going over there. These guys are giving us a truckload of cash to come over there and do a show.
Yep.
Are you willing to pony up and, like you say, have bygones be bygones and give off an apology?" And I think he's a big guy. He's willing to take one for the team. He's always been that way. I think that's what it is. Him taking one for the company.
Big money. Let's just throw it out there. There's a rumor, grain of salt rumor, but big money in the tune of $50 million. Saudi is paying the WWE and TKO to take their WWE programming over to Saudi Arabia.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what I heard. And that probably equals up to more, because when you figure the setup and anything else they might be covering over there, the $50 million for the company, but they're putting up promotion, they're putting up other kind of money for that show. So, what do you think, Dom?
Well, before I start with that, what we're talking about, there is a video that's going viral when Randy Orton and CM Punk was walking. A kid went for an autograph, and they pushed the kid away, and they kept walking.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a video that I actually sent you guys. I sent it, when I seen it, which is kind of funny that they pushed the kid away. I'm like, damn. But the whole thing with CM Punk, look, CM Punk definitely left a bad taste in everybody's mouth, a lot of people's mouths in the other company before TKO took over, especially Triple H. Triple H and CM Punk definitely never seen eye to eye, butting heads a lot, and the dislike of Punk really did not. And I still think, yes, business overshadows personal feelings towards somebody because you're making money. But in my eyes, I still think that Triple H doesn't like Punk, and it's all a facade, this and that, hell freezes over. It's all a propaganda thing to make money for the company. Yes, Saudi Arabia is definitely a big money place, and TKO sees dollar signs, and you're part of the product that they see dollar signs. You make comments about certain things. Hey, look, didn't Sami Zayn have some issues with Saudi Arabia too? He didn't want to go because of all the stuff that was going on, and then he wound up going. So, this is where it becomes you separate the political aspect of things, of your feelings, with the show and the money that you could make. And that's why they always say the money is the root of all evil, because you're willing to take money, to overshadow your pride of what you think of someplace. Yes. Do I think that CM Punk has grown as a person with everything that's happened from him leaving the WWE, going to UFC, then going to AEW and all that experience and coming back, swallowing his pride? Look, first of all, He said he was never coming back. You think about it. And he even said no money, no what's this and that. He wasn't coming back. And for 10 years, all that chatter, that coming back, talking bad about the WWE. I'm never going back to that shit show. I'm never going back there. This guy's a tool. This guy's this and that. For him to swallow his pride, to finally make his return to WWE is a big step. But also at the same time, it seems like everywhere CM Punk goes, he burns bridges, and that's why you have nowhere else to go. You got to come back to the company that actually made you on who you are. And yes, we get older, we still hold grudges towards things, but I do see people growing in an aspect of, yes, you're willing to swallow some pride, this and that. I may not like you, but you know what? But we have to respect each other. As long as we respect each other, you can have a cohesive relationship.
Yeah.
And look, I think, I don't know if they force-fed him a shit and forced him to apologize. In my eyes, I seriously think that they did make a comment, probably say, listen, we need you, CM Punk. We need you. You're a big part of moving forward this company. And we have all these events that are planned for Saudi Arabia. We need you. You're a big money draw for us. If you could find it in your heart to apologize, we would definitely feel great that if you do that. And I think part of him probably says, you know what, I do it. But now, that being said, all the things that he said to the other wrestlers, like The Miz and all these other people, did he apologize to them? Did he pick up and go, listen, it was a different time. I'm sorry. I was a jerk. I didn't mean to these words, this and that. I know I was a different level, this and that. And I do apologize. Did he do that?
Apparently, his apology to Miz came months before he came back. There was that rumor that in Chicago, he was backstage before he re-signed with WWE. Apparently, the apology with Miz, the conversation with the Miz took place at that time. So, reports he has apologized to the Miz. Yes.
Okay. So, I actually think that yes, he did swallow his pride, and I think he definitely matured, because you see him acting much different. It's not the CM Punk that we know that's out there. He's a much more kinder, different. The pipe bombs aren't the way dropping boom. He has some things and his promos, but it's not the same Punk. And I also think at the same time too that TKO is like, listen, dude, you got to follow these rules as well. Because I don't want us to look bad. We're bringing you back. So moving forward, we have to be on the same page. But like I said, again, I think people do grow. I think Triple H, even though he dislikes CM Punk, as a man, telling another man, listen, I may not like you, but I respect you. And that mutual understanding. So I think it was both. I think CM Punk, apologized on his own, also with the help of the company pushing that agenda towards him. Listen, you gotta do something. You gotta do that. And as a plant, I wouldn't be surprised that if it wasn't them putting a plant there just to make it look bad. But like I said, I go back to that video. Walking, they push that kid.
So touching on that, it's come out to now again, grain of salt, that was they were walking to a meet and greet, and that little kid ran up to them before the meet and greet, and security was behind Punk walking as well. There's also a report that there was people moving stuff around backstage, moving stuff around that area, and that Punk pushing the kid away was to keep him from getting into that area where things were moving around. So he didn't really shun them. It's come out that Punk has later on found that kid and took pictures with him and all that. So he has made I don't want to say reprimations, but he did make up for that because Randy Orton was there as well too. Randy Orton didn't make any, attempts to be like, come over here, kid, come get this sign.
Exactly, and that's what I'm trying to say. And look, I understand. The one thing I can understand is that you're going in an area that you have all this stuff that's going on, and people were saying, they shouldn't do this pay-per-view because of all the tensions that are going on in the Middle East and stuff like that. And you're in areas and kids are jumping out, or you see people and you don't know what's what. It's kind of worrisome that you're in an area that you're definitely scared as a professional. You don't know what the outcome is going to be. You can have hundreds of security things, people still get in it. We've seen it before in a lot of different things that it doesn't matter how much security you have. People find a way of doing things, and the tensions are kind of high. And I can understand too, but going back to a kid coming up to you, I know, and then you have to apologize, take pictures, but that video is there. And that's the thing. The video, like what we talk about, and we put this on YouTube, it's there. If I go off on a friggin' rant about some bullshit, some crazy stuff, and I talk about some stuff that I shouldn't be talking about, and it gets to a point where they can take the post out, but it's still out there. Video of me doing that is still there. And if down the road, if I try to do something, that video can come up and slap in the face and go, look, this guy. So that's why I look at things differently. But I actually laughed when I saw that video. I'm like, look at this. It says, getting new fans by the moment, because it was kind of funny. And it's just, I think the kid just came out here.
I mean, and he really just kind of shoot him away. It's not like he Heisman'd the kid,
I know.
It's not like he like face palmed the kid.
He didn't Cena the referee type of thing.
I mean, I would make a case that the Tiffany Stratton video that's going around is much more damning than CM Punk shooing some little kid away. Like the kid was like going in for a hug, it looked like. And all right, you don't want to be touched. You don't want some random fan running up to you because you don't know what they've got. Case in point, Seth Rollins, the one time the fan tackled him on the stage, or the other time the fan jumped the barricade and walked down the ramp with him. You don't know who or what's coming at you.
Triple H was fighting Stone Cold, and the rest of the fan went into the ring.
Yeah,
Triple H freaking power drive to freaking
know who or what's coming at you. So of course your first reaction is going to be to protect yourself and keep distance. But it's not like he Heisman'd the kid. It's not like he face palmed him and pushed him to the ground. He kind of just shoved him off, pushed him off, waved him off a little bit. But it's, I don't know. It's so easy with social media to make things fit your narrative or whatever narrative you want to.
One more thing, really quick. Let's see the Roxanne Perez thing with the fan that was sending those things, and also with Dirty Dom, he had that guy who said he wanted to cut him and stuff like that. So there's a lot of craziness going on. But going back to CM Punk, I think that they're teaching CM Punk a little lesson. I think eventually he is going to win a championship. He's going to win a championship, but I think it's just a little. It's going to be more of a listen. Play by these rules now, and then eventually you get your thing. It's kind of like McIntyre. When McIntyre is going through McIntyre, he won the championship. He lost. He's tried every which way he's trying. So they're going to do that with CM Punk a little bit, and they're going to push that a little bit. But eventually, CM Punk will probably win a championship down the road eventually. But we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah,
they're just giving him the longer road. That's what it ended up being.
Yeah, and that's
agreed. I don't know. It seems that way right now. Right now, it could be a little lesson to.
Well, he's been back in WWE what, a year now, 2 years?
2 years.
And I think this match against Cena was his first shot at the world title, right?
Yep.
So when he came back to AEW, he was in the title picture, what almost felt like right away.
Yeah.
So, I would love Truth to beat Cena for the title. I agree. Yeah. So I think Punk is inevitably going to win the title, and it's inevitably going to happen. But I don't think it's going to happen. I think it's going to happen later on down the line.
Yeah.
I think he's going to take the title off Seth. I think that's who he's going to beat the title. He's going to take the title off of. When is that? Is that going to be, WrestleMania, Royal Rumble, WrestleMania next year? I don't know, but I think that's the long game. Is that Seth is eventually the one he's going to take the title off of, and then he's going to be the World Heavyweight Champion.
I really think WrestleMania is going to be a triple threat match. It's going to be CM Punk, Seth Rollins, and Roman Reigns. And I think CM Punk definitely wins the belt. Because I got a feeling that Roman Reigns ain't winning anything anytime soon because he's actually more phasing his way out. And so I think you give CM Punk the main place in WrestleMania, win the championship at WrestleMania, and be on top of the world. And that's how you defeat Seth Rollins. Because Seth Rollins is the thorn in his side. Eventually, he's got to beat Seth Rollins for the biggest prize of all. Even though he took 3 fights against Seth Rollins and won those 3 fights, but now Seth Rollins is more of like a gnat. Like he's flying around and he's bothering. So, Seth Rollins he's feuding with 6 different people at this moment, which is kind of crazy. You have him feuding with freaking LA Knight. You have him feuding with Roman Reigns, feuding with CM Punk. He's feuding with Penta. He's feuding with Sami Zayn. So there's a lot going on right now, and it's all going to come to a head. And eventually
at War Games.
Yes, War Games. Yep.
Which we got the official announcement that Survivor Series is going to be War Games.
So
you'll have
SmackDown and Raw guys together helping because that's the only War Games is. They're not going to. So you're right. The draft might not happen, but they've been talking about it, man. I don't know.
They keep saying it, but then they keep doing it behind the scenes.
But you know what? I actually think this is I think they'll have their brands where they have people on, but I think it's more entertaining where you have these guys show up on different shows. It makes it more interesting. You don't have to fight in every freaking show, but you can have their appearance, his presence on the shows that can make things better. So,
we can talk about that.
I think it's just time to end the brand split. End this. You can have both shows can still have their own champion, but just let guys go back and forth. You're using the same guys no matter what. It's not like you're giving new talent opportunities that they're not getting. So, what about the whole thing with Punk pushing Gunther? Could he get a title from Gunther and Seth take the title from Punk with a briefcase? It's a possibility. I really think that Seth is going to take the title off of Gunther with a cash in at Saturday Night Main Event. That's just kind of my feeling right now. Will they have Goldberg win and then Seth take the briefcase off, the title off from him? That's a possibility as well.
But
that's floating around there.
That's my scenario.
I actually think that Roman Reigns might get involved and he won't be able to cash in.
Is Goldberg going to be a player? And here's the question I have about Goldberg. History dictates that Goldberg has not always been a team player. He's been more about Goldberg.
Yep.
Case in point, when he took the title off the Fiend for no goddamn reason.
Yeah.
Is Goldberg going to play ball? Is Goldberg going to do the right thing as far as wrestling etiquette goes and put over the younger talent and Gunther? Or is Goldberg going to do the Goldberg thing and go out of this retirement winning that championship, going over Gunther, but still not winning the title because we're going to get a cash in? I don't see Goldberg do what they did to Brett. Yeah, they could screw him like they did to Brett with Michaels, but what makes it more interesting? A Seth cash-in or Roman stopping the cash-in? Because if Roman doesn't stop the cash-in and Goldberg goes over, we've got Goldberg as the World Heavyweight Champion. Goldberg ends his career winning the same championship that he started his career in WCW winning.
Yep.
So,
Right.
if you, I guess you could have Goldberg win, right? Just say Seth tries to cash in, right? And Roman Reigns comes in and interferes and stops Seth from cashing in. You have Goldberg win. Have the Gunther Goldberg rematch at SummerSlam.
well, there's also a scenario where Goldberg could go over and win and still not win the WWE championship.
Yeah, that's true too. Yeah, no, definitely true too. But Goldberg has stated that this is his last match. So it's either he wins or he leaves on getting friggin' face planted to the ground, friggin' head stomped, and loses the belt if he does take it off Gunther. Look, I still think that there's room for a Gunther and Seth, rivalry, because they really haven't had a rivalry yet. I think that could be something down the road. Because all the seeds are being planted. So you want Gunther to go out. You want Gunther to go out as a champion, to leave as a champion, and then you have to have a new belt in place. Because I actually think that they actually are planning on to make new championship belts. They always change the belts. So I kind of think there's a new belt coming. So you have Goldberg win that belt, walk off into the sunset, and then you have a thing for the belt. Could be down the road.
To play devil's advocate, Goldberg hasn't really said this is going to be his last match, whether he wins the championship or not. He said this is his last match.
He says,
Michael Cole asked him about, well, what if you win the world championship? He said, that's an interesting predicament, isn't it?
Yeah.
He's not committing to saying, he's not saying what Cena's saying, where no matter what, come mid-December, I'm gone.
And I'm taking the belt with me.
He's kind of entertaining the idea. I could definitely see an issue where Goldberg wins the match but doesn't win the championship. So he still Goldbergs himself into a victory, doesn't put over Gunther, but doesn't win the championship. Now, I do like the idea of Gunther versus Punk beating Gunther, and as Punk kind of Drew McIntyre him, like Damian Priest did to McIntyre. You build that feud where as Punk wins, Seth Music hits, Braun Breaker and the Brawns hit, take out Punk. Seth cashes in, takes the title right off of Punk right after he wins it. Then you go into Survivor Series and you continue on through that. Would be interesting. It's just there's a lot of moving pieces here.
A lot. There's a lot of rivalries that are going on right now, and like I said, you're having Seth is having freaking fights with 6 different people, and it can go either way. And you know what? It makes the story, intrigues the story more that Punk is still trying to catch that break. That the Punk is still trying, like McIntyre is still trying to catch that thing. And then you give him a cheaper match to fight. Well, Damian Priest is not a cheaper match, but Damian Priest, he's in the picture. He had a great run with all the champions, back then, and do that the same thing with Punk. Have him fight. Like I said, look, it's going to implode for Seth. Seth is definitely backing himself into a corner. He wins that championship. He's got a lot of guys coming after him, and especially you need that match. You need Roman Reigns to finally beat Seth Rollins, because he has not beaten Seth Rollins one-on-one, this and that. So you need that story to come to an end for Roman Reigns to finally finish his story when it comes to that. As for a championship run, I don't think Roman Reigns is definitely getting any more championship runs. I don't think he had his run for 3 years. He did his thing. I think that you have him beat Seth to give him that clarity. I finally beat Goliath, because, like I said, Seth has been a thorn in his side for ever since he betrayed him. So we'll see what comes down the road. But I still think triple threat match, WrestleMania, Seth Rollins, CM Punk, and Roman Reigns is definitely in the forefront. That is, and it's going to be in Saudi next year, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so you could rest assured they're gonna put on a big card for that WrestleMania. Definitely.
I mean, I honestly think the end game is Seth winning the world championship and Sami Zayn taking off from after Sami wins the Royal Rumble next year in Saudi Arabia. I've said it till we're blue in the face. But speaking of Saudi Arabia, WWE is continuing its partnership with Saudi Arabia and has packed scheduled lined up for 2026 and beyond, where we're potentially getting not one, not two, but 3 Saudi shows next year. According to a report from Fightful Select, sources involved in the organizing WWE's Night of Champions 2025 have shared insight into the company's upcoming plans in the region. With the 2026 Royal Rumble already announced for January in Saudi Arabia, preparation for that event will begin in the next couple of weeks. Earlier this year, it was reported that only one Saudi event was scheduled for 2025, a strategic decision given WWE's already loaded calendar for the year. Looking ahead, WWE is currently planning 3 pay-per-view events in Saudi Arabia for 2026. The first will be the Royal Rumble in January, followed by 2 more events tentatively scheduled for May and November. The November 2026 date has sparked speculation about Survivor Series potentially taking place in Saudi Arabia. For the past 4 years, WWE has held Survivor Series during Thanksgiving weekend. However, one source claims it is Survivor Series were to be held in Saudi Arabia. It would likely be moved off that weekend as WWE doesn't see themselves sending talent overseas during the holidays. Are you guys potential 3rd Saudi show next year? Thoughts?
Well, I mean, we've already got Royal Rumble being 2 nights. We've got them wanting WrestleMania at some point. Crown Jewel. That's a lot of going back and forth.
So.
Well, this year it's in Perth.
Yeah,
this year it's in Perth, but historically it's been in Saudi. Yeah. Historically it's been Saudi, and they had Night of Champions this year instead of, which I think Crown Jewel probably would have been better for King of the Ring as a branding, but I don't know. They had to deal a lot of changes for this match, for this PLE this past weekend because of people not wanting to go. Right?
Well, I just don't know about WrestleMania. Man, WrestleMania is a spectacle. It's a worldwide. People come from all over the world to WrestleMania, and Saudi Arabia doesn't really have that appeal.
Yep.
Given their political climate for people to come over here. So I don't know how quickly. I think fans would be really upset and there'd be a lot of backlash if WWE did a Saudi show before WrestleMania went to like England or Paris or France or Perth or whatever. Before it went to Europe to go to Saudi, I think you'd have a lot of people up in arms.
You would.
Really quick question. Was it Delv Dutta? You said watch Conspiracy. Well, if you watch, go back to the beginning of the show. The whole thing with Triple H and CM Punk is Triple H still holding a grudge with CM Punk and leading him on. That's why he hasn't won a championship yet. So that's basically what the conspiracy is. It's just something that could be
not so much not winning a championship, but like, was he forced to basically eat shit or eat crow during the pipe bomb promo? Right. And that was Triple H's way of kind of saying the old Vince McMahon, adage is at some point you're going to have to eat shit, was recreating the pipe bomb promo and Punk laying there while Cena's basically verbatim copying his promo. Triple H's way of making Punk eat crow. Or was there a plant in Saudi Arabia when Punk was called out by a fan at the press conference for saying, you made these comments about us, yada, 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 and Punk being a publicly apologizing? Was that a setup, and was that dude planted by WWE? And really, what is Triple H doing that, or are people just reading too much into the tea leaves?
Exactly. So that's about it. But anyway, back to what you're saying about the shows. That's going to be a very interesting thing. WrestleMania, like you said, is a big show. It's definitely the biggest. It's the Super Bowl, the World Series, the NBA championships, the Stanley Cup championships, combined in one for wrestling. And yes, you'll make a solid bunch of money from Saudi Arabia personally, but as a fan's perspective, you're not going to have people. Come on, kids, pack the bags. We're going to Saudi Arabia to go see WrestleMania. You
right.
might not definitely get that, and definitely, and I hate the political landscape of everything because everything is political these days, and there's a lot of people, a lot of political stuff that's out there, and people don't like Middle East, all these things that are going on, and it sucks that it overshadows over the event itself, and I don't know, I understand that Saudi does have a lot of money. They have more money than anybody could possibly ask for. And again, like I always talk about corporations, man. Corporations go for the money, man. They don't care about the individual, the well-being of an individual, the snap, because something happens, they'll replace you tomorrow. That's the company MO of big corporations. Smaller places will mourn you and say, listen, you know what? That's a big loss for the company. We'll get by. Let's give it some time to really, get through this together and moving forward. But corporation, well, he passed away. He got hurt. He's like, we got this person in line. So the money talks in corporations, and they don't give a shit. So if Saudi Arabia is giving them $200+ million or $500 million to come to Saudi Arabia for WrestleMania, they're gonna say, fuck that shit. We're going. Pack your bags. That's where we're gonna have WrestleMania for the 2 nights. And it's sad. It really is sad. But on the perspective of a corporation and company, well, that's a win-win situation for them. And as a little fan, as fans like us, we're the ones that get left out in the deuce.
Here's the one scenario that I'm going to feed into. Already this past WrestleMania, we've had it where prices were jacked through the roof as it was, and our speculation is, and probably rightly so, that a lot of those people sitting in that arena were given comp tickets.
Yeah, you're right.
Because there was a lot in that arena during WrestleMania where these people didn't know what the hell they were watching.
Absolutely.
Didn't know who they were. Didn't know who they were rooting for the wrong people. I shouldn't say the wrong people, but storyline wise, they're not rooting for the people that they're supposed to be rooting for. Right?
And rumor has it that they had limited the women wrestlers because of the whole climate there in Saudi Arabia when it comes to women. So it kind of like you cut the women fights and minimize them. They only have 2 fights in Night of Champions women.
Yeah, but I was actually surprised because you had on SmackDown, which was also in Riyadh, you had the women, the Tiffany Stratton put the title on the line in the women in a last man standing match, and Naomi showed up. So they were heavily represented. You had Jade Cargill on Night of Champions. You had Naomi. You had Nia Jax. You had Tiffany Stratton all show up on SmackDown. So there was a lot of women representation there. So I'm not sure how much of that story was accurate.
I don't know. Like give or take, you want to balance things off. Yeah. CM Punk doesn't need the title because he's already definitely already more over than 95%. But you definitely want to give him a title for like old time's sake, just because he came back, he's doing his thing, and to earn the title. Like I said, there's a whole bunch of guys that don't need a title, and they're already well off.
You could have said that about Cena coming back. Why does Cena need to come back and get a title?
Exactly.
He's more over than
never seen 17, baby.
Yeah, never seen 17. Yeah. Well, he's
you
never
never
seen
seen
17 until this year.
Punk needs something. There needs to be something that's refreshing, because since he's been back, he's really chased the same 2 people: Drew McIntyre, Seth Rollins. Rinse and repeat. It seems like when he's done with one, he goes right back to the other. So even you can sprinkle in Cody, but we never got that. We did have that confrontation between him and
Little bit of
Cody, where
Cena.
he said at some point we're gonna have to meet in the ring, and all that. So you got to give him something else. He can't chase Seth forever. So giving him a title is a good evolution or transition to the next phase of what you're going to do with Punk, because you've only got him for maybe
5 years,
if that. So
would you consider giving Punk a tag team championship with somebody, like say him and Sami Zayn, with a tag team championship? Just throwing it out there, just like
at this point, yes, because WWE's tag team division is absolute dog shit.
I know, so give that, so he gets some kind of a title around his waist. Give him a chance at the the Intercontinental Championship. Have CM Punk fight AJ Styles down the road. I think AJ Styles might win the belt. But
AJ Styles is in kind of the same boat though. He's starting to age out too.
Yeah, and him and friggin' and what's his face Sheamus they need the Intercontinental Championship to complete the run of all the belts, and then they'll have the all the belts. Grand Slam.
Well, technically now, Sheamus would need to hold the world. Well, what do you know? No, maybe not. He wouldn't have to hold the new World Heavyweight Championship because they were both World Heavyweight Champions before they retired that belt and brought the WWE. So yeah, it would just be Intercontinental.
Yeah, so that's the thing. So you have that, like CM Punk, have him him and somebody win the tag team champions for a minute, go back and forth with that, defend those titles, and then bring them back. Because you're right, the two guys, McIntyre, Seth Rollins, there's other people that he could fight. I like to see CM Punk, get into a thing with Rusev. Throw Rusev in the mix. He's back. Have him fight Rusev. Have him fight people that you normally won't have. Like I said, Gunther. Eventually, that's going to happen. Coming to fruition, he's going to fight Gunther. Have him fight that, like, just feuds with some people just to get more out there. So, because everybody can't go for the belt. We all know that. You got to have certain players go for the belt. You can't have every single player. Look, LA Knight was pushed. And now, he won the U.S. Championship a couple of times, and that was it. Now he's out of the championship picture because now he's fighting Seth, but Seth doesn't have the belt. Seth has a briefcase.
But I think you can make the case too that the fact that there are 6 people in this feud, it helps drive the narrative that WWE creatively has no idea what's going on right now. They have no idea where they're going or no idea what they're very much flying by the seat of their pants, because you've got those 6 in the title picture. Not to mention, we've had Seth's group since Mania, still don't have a name for them.
Yep. The was it not the orbital, but the was it the
Oracle?
Oracle. Yeah, the Oracle. The Oracle. The Oracle. That's the thing. So, because I don't think that the team is complete. There's 2 more people coming on that roster, or 1 more person. Ethan Page. Brock Lesnar. But I'm just saying. But it actually is interesting to have 6 people fighting with the same person, have that, and have it all part of the whole narrative. That, hey, look, Monday night, Triple H, Seth Rollins went up to freaking Gunther, said, "It's open season on all champions." So that kind of opens up the can of worms that you're going after everybody. And does the Intercontinental Championship and the U.S. Championship have to worry about? The Solo Sikoa has to worry about Seth Rollins coming after his U.S. Championship. But I know that they're not going after those championships. But the championship picture, you have 2 championship titles on 2 brands. Seth's going to go back and forth and feud with both people. So I like that because it brings more intrigue, but it's kind of crazy that you have this whole big thing that's open. And you're right. WWE, freaking TKO may not have a plan of what's going on, but you have a lot of top wrestlers that need to be at that top tier, and a lot of bottom wrestlers that are still working their way up for the, the 2 other belts, the Continental and U.S. Championship. So you keep it going, keep it cooking, And like I said, like a one-man crew turned around and said, Punk doesn't need the title. You don't really need to put a title on him. You want to put a title on him, but you could have him go out there and he's already a champion to the fans' eyes. He's already the people's champ. Think about it. He keeps making comments about The Rock. There's conspiracy. There is dirty sheet. There's dirt sheets out there saying that The Rock, who was Paul Heyman talking to on the phone at the end of Raw. So you don't know.
That's your Ethan Page or Ricky Saints connection right there. The plan B.
It could be. No, it could be. But it is kind of the conspiracies are really floating out there now.
I'll say this. I think that to think that Seth is going to take the title off, go for the WWE Championship, is just ridiculous. They're going to use that as a smoke and mirrors to keep the belt on Cena, just like they did at Night of Champions.
Yeah.
Cody's beating him for that title at SummerSlam. I think we already know that. That's pretty much done deal. And I think Seth is going to use that to help Cody do it because Seth made the comment, Cody couldn't be champion without my help because I wanted him to be. So that's already foreshadowing of probably what's going to happen at SummerSlam is that Seth is going to fake a cash in at SummerSlam if he still has the briefcase and cost Cena the title and put it back on Cody to even further prove his point. So I think it's all smoke and mirrors. We know, and I think you could pretty much say with certainty that Seth's going to win the World Heavyweight Championship, not the WWE Championship. He's not going after Cena. He's going after Gunther.
Yeah, you're right.
But again, I think the 6 players in all this is just, it's so confusing because at least for me, I've even forgot, we saw Jey Uso doing his thing and we're like, okay, well, maybe he moved on. He's not part of this again. But then come Monday, who comes out to make the save? Jey Uso with a steel chair. It wasn't Penta. It was Jey Uso Penta was already out there, but it's Jey Uso with a chair.
It's funny. Penta coming down there, it says, guys are getting beat up the ring, and he's taking a sweet ass time coming down there.
That was funny.
It said Jeff Hardy all over again. Remember when Jeff Hardy come out?
Yeah.
And he's like, but look, Penta's a star. WWE made Penta a star right now. He's in a big feud going on. There's a big thing that's going on. So, there are people that are things that happen, but I still think that Penta and Ray Phoenix are definitely going to be a tag team down the road. When eventually together.
They have to. They have to. There's no better case in point that the Raw tag team division is an absolute shambles than this round robin of champions. Viking Raiders, New Day, Judgment Day. Viking Raiders, New Day, Judgment Day. Viking Raiders, New Day, Judgment Day. Viking Raiders, New Day. We just put the titles back on the Judgment Day.
Yep.
SmackDown has the Wyatt Six. They have the Motor City Machine Guns. They have the Street Profits. They have DIY. They have legitimate tag teams. Raw has Judgment Day, New Day, Viking Raiders. That's it. They have to bring Phoenix over and pair him with his brother in that tag team division. They have to. There's no other legitimate tag teams.
You got you see that the WWE and TKO are interested in a couple of the tag team from AEW.
Private Party. Boo.
Yeah. Them.
Boo. Boo. Boo.
Hey, you know why? Chris Jericho.
Nah, don't need Jericho back.
Yeah.
AEW they don't know what they're doing. They can't even put together a solid program with homegrown talent. All their main players right now in AEW, their world title has been locked in a briefcase for the last 6 months with Jon Moxley. Their big title holders and their big players are all WWE cast-offs, except for MJF.
Mm-hmm.
It just, AEW just they don't even know what they are.
But if you see that the ratings have gone up on AEW, the viewership and people again, but that's another story of its own.
That's all fabricated.
This all has to implode. Look, War Games starts, at the end of the November. You get War Games November 29th, and we'll see what the playing field is going to be after War Games. You know, because after War Games, you got what pay-per-view you have the December. You have
They haven't announced the December pay-per-view.
Okay.
You've got Crown Jewel and Perth.
Okay.
Which, again, that adds to my WWE clusterfuck situation, is they don't even know what PLE they got coming up next, because Evolution is the night after Saturday Night Main Event, and the winner of the Women's Battle Royal that was announced for Evolution gets a shot at a women's championship of their choice, not at SummerSlam, which is the next big pay-per-view, which is 2 nights. No, they have to wait till Crown Jewel Perth to get there. So why doesn't the winner of that Battle Royal get to face the Raw Women's Championship, since Jade Cargill won the Queen of the Ring and she's going after the SmackDown Women's Championship, Tiffany Stratton? Why, or Naomi, whoever it is at that point, why isn't the winner of that Battle Royal getting a shot at the Raw Women's Champion then at SummerSlam versus pushing it all the way to Perth? They're trying to book right now. They're trying to book SummerSlam, or not SummerSlam, Saturday Night Main Event, Evolution 2, which is in shambles because of Liv Morgan's injury, and now Perth. Like, WWE, they've got so much going on. It's got to be hard to be in that creative room to keep anything straight.
It's just crazy. You don't know. Like I said, you're right.
It's got to be like Vince McMahon fever dreams up in that bitch.
Look, there's no challenges for the women's championship in Raw. You know, Tiffany Stratton's busy with everything that's going on over there in SmackDown. You know, you got Naomi. You're probably gonna have you saw Nia Jax in the picture. You know, you have what do you have here? You know, you have Bailey and this girl fighting Becky Lynch, friggin' Lyra. You know, well, listen, we all know that Stephanie's gonna win Evolution, the Battle Royal Evolution. So,
I 100% agree with you there.
That's definitely must. And it's kind of funny, she's not even on the poster, which is kind of funny that they get the poster. So
she wasn't even on Raw on Monday, was she?
I know, she hasn't been on Raw in a couple of weeks.
She had the match when she came back, or when she was called up. Then she had her match at whatever the last PLE was, and she hasn't.
Table 11 chairs. Table 11 chairs.
Yeah.
You know. The Money in the Bank. Money in the Bank.
Yeah, Money in the Bank. So she had her Money in the Bank match, and then she hasn't been seen since.
Because she showed a video of them checking her knee and says it's okay. It's just precaution. I think the WWE is taking a lot of precaution. I think she might have did something to her knee, and they kind of like take some time off. Because she is the $1 million baby. She's gonna be that's their crown jewel right there. So they're not gonna take any chances. So they gave her some time off, and she comes back for Evolution, which makes sense. And that's where you get the return of Saraya, Paige, if she comes back, that they're talking about, and it makes things even more interesting. And we'll see all the women in action on Evolution. Julia, definitely the new U.S. championship, the new champion, and like all the girls. So it's interesting, and they try to see, and that's the thing. There are so many pay-per-views. Every friggin' month you're having pay-per-views, and that's why they can't have all these stars all keep showing a pay. That's why they have to do championship matches on the regular shows, because there's just so many, because you have to add something you didn't add last time. And I know it's confusing and crazy, but
they could have had that women's WWE championship match on Night of Champions. They could have had the Wyatt 6th Street Profit Tag Team Championship match on Night of Champions. It was called, we talked about it last week, it's called Night of Champions. Why was there only 2 championships up for defense?
You see, and that's the thing. Growing up, watching the shows, you're right. Every championship, all men on deck, all women on deck, whatever you want to be. You're a champion, you're fighting that night. But anyway, back to what we were saying.
You still have Dom ducking things with his rib injury, and
he does have a slight rib injury. Well, he'll be ready for SummerSlam.
And
I'd have a rib injury too if I was trying to juggle 2 women.
Right.
Hey, and a third one now, another one that's coming.
No, third
one, fucking Roxanne Perez, and eventually, I'll tell you this right now. Eventually, Dirty Dom will be with Stephanie Vaquer. So
I knew you were going to say it.
definitely later on, he'll be freaking paired with her. Guaranteed.
Yeah, I just think, listen, what's he going to be next? He went from being, little Dom to mommy. Now he's grown up to being daddy Dom. What's he going to be, Grandpa Dom to Roxanne? Like, what are we doing with it? But
listen, all I know is that guy has the greatest job of all time.
Yeah.
Roman will be a draw again as soon as Saturday night main event.
Main event. I think he's showing up at Saturday night main event, and that's what will set the seeds for him fighting Seth at SummerSlam. Or
they are building. I think they are building towards CM Punk, Roman Reigns versus Seth. Maybe a triple threat. It might be CM Punk, Roman Reigns, Sami Zayn versus.
What about a quadruple match? Maybe you have LA Knight part of that.
You could have CM Punk, LA Knight, Roman Reigns versus Braun, Seth, and Bronson. It could be any one of the six people that are feuding with Seth.
And that's what I'm trying to say. Come SummerSlam, the next member of Seth's team is definitely going to show up.
Yeah, to give Seth the win. Exactly. Which is going to lead us to War Games.
Yep.
And our 5-on-5 War Games.
Yep.
And it's going to be Gilbert.
No, he's not going to win the championship off of Gunther. He's got unfinished business with Seth. So he's not taking the championship off Gunther yet.
I don't think he's going to get another championship shot.
I think he will eventually.
Maybe, but I don't think
it's not going to be anytime soon.
No, I think he has to take out Seth. That's his ghost, his demon that he has to take out. That's why I think WrestleMania will be Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns. That is definitely on the cards.
I don't think so, Dom. I think your story and your money is in Seth Rollins, Sami Zayn. That is your WrestleMania main event. That 100%. That's going to be your WrestleMania main event. If we could put Vegas betting odds on it, I would put $100 on it right now.
You know what? You might be right.
Look what they did to Karrion Kross and how pissed off people are that Karrion Kross lost to Sami Zayn in Saudi Arabia. You tell me you don't think Sami Zayn's going to win the Royal Rumble in Saudi Arabia?
Well, look, you see this now. You see this now. Karrion Kross, his contract ends in August, right? But he just came out with new merch. So there's new merch that's selling, and his shirt is #1 selling. Do you think TKO is not going to sign this man to freaking goddamn that he's making the money? So I can rest assured that we'll see that Karrion Kross will definitely be part of something. Karrion Kross, you see, he came out and he beat the shit out of Sami Zayn on Monday night. He still is going after Sami Zayn. He's going to fight Sami Zayn. He's going to interfere. Whatever Sami Zayn is going to be involved in, Karrion Kross will be involved. I guarantee. If you have War Games, Karrion Kross is going to be part of War Games. I guarantee.
I don't know. I think that's why maybe Sammy won't be. Maybe it's going to be LA Knight. Maybe Sammy's the wild card because Sammy's got unfinished business with Karrion Kross.
Yep.
They might take Sammy out of that picture for now and have him circle back at Royal Rumble.
Yep.
And have him feud with Karrion Kross.
Because you can't have him floating after Seth anymore. Like right now, this guy Karrion goes. Let me see. Yeah.
He said, I think the Roman draw up and it leads to him getting into a final boss for the next WrestleMania because we still don't have it yet. They need the next Mania main event to be a blast off Everett. We're not getting. Don't hold your breath on Roman Reigns versus The Rock anytime soon. Nope. Like I'll be 100% transparent on that one.
He has 4 movies that are coming out in the next 2 years. He's a busy man. I think he's got a new TV show that he's producing too. Some other stuff he's doing. Look, I would love them to finish off the story and have The Rock come back and finish off that whole thing and find out the final boss, the final picture of this whole thing. And like the rumors are circulating about the phone call that this guy Paul Heyman made, all these things that Seth Rollins could be working for The Rock. It's all part of The Rock's plan. Could be, maybe not. Remember long-term storytelling? There's all things that are going on, and you still got your thing with McIntyre being, being the chosen one for The Rock and all these things, there's still a lot of aspect that has to be solved. We will get a solving of all this stuff by WrestleMania, or maybe even before.
I would hope so.
But the Royal Rumble could be the ending of all this stuff, maybe. But I still think that WrestleMania is definitely the key of what's going on in the next chapter or something else. But the Rock involvement, it's very slim right now because, like I said, 4 movies he's going to be filming and TV show that he's going to be doing, producing. So, hey, look, I would love to be on the Teletron, have him freaking make a comment on the Teletron, show up just like that. But as physical, I don't think he's going to wrestle anytime soon.
Listen, I'll be the first one to say it. I don't want The Rock on my TV screens anymore. I'm done. I don't want you're The Rock this, The Rock that, Roman Reigns versus The Rock. No. Just keep it off my TV. I don't need to see it. The Rock ruined WrestleMania. WrestleMania main event between John Cena and Cody Rhodes was doo-doo because The Rock couldn't get out of his own and it got ruined. And what tells me that Rock storyline is potentially no longer a thing is we haven't seen Travis Scott since.
What do you think about that? There was a story once they fired once they fired R-Truth, the whole thing they were going to bring him back that night. They didn't bring him back. They brought back R-Truth and they stopped bringing it. So that whole part of the story, they did. So I don't know. Look, I still think he'll show up again down the road. I don't think now. I think The Rock, like I said, is very busy right now, and you'll probably see Travis Scott come back when The Rock comes back.
I don't think they want to put the title on Roman Reigns right now because 1, he's about to go film Street Fighter, and 2, he held the title for 3 years. Yep. There's no with him being a part-timer and holding the title for 3 years, there's no excitement there. There's no story right now with Roman being the champion. They told the Bloodline story. What else? The draw right now is Seth being champion and how much everyone's going after Seth. Now, Roman and Seth could be a draw, but not with Roman as champion. I think Roman chasing Seth is where the story is, if that's where they're going to go. It's not putting the belt back on Roman.
Yeah.
I just don't think WWE has. Roman's made it clear that he's got maybe 5 years left and he wants to retire. I don't know. I think he'll get 1 more title run, maybe 2, but not yet because, like I said,
they're already trying to cut his salary. So
they're not going to go back to that Roman right now.
Roman is a big draw, but Hollywood is calling now. He's got a lot of things on the table, so. He's got Street Fighter.
We'll see how quickly Hollywood sends him to voicemail, depending on how Street Fighter does.
I'm just saying, you got Street Fighter and you got 2 other things that are lined up.
Hey, but listen. Seth had that Captain America spot, and he didn't get a push because of that because they cut him out. So don't be banking on Hollywood to be your saving grace.
Right. Listen,
anyway.
Well, Seth Rollins wasn't just in a TV show. He was dressed as a freaking bear, and I'm Seth freaking Rollins. What? A freaking TV show that just happened right now.
He was in a music video too.
Yeah. So, the music video. Yeah, the music. I said the music video where he set the barn on fire. So right now, the players are Seth long term because Seth is going to be a long term. Freaking CM Punk, LA Knight, Penta, Sami Zayn, Bronson Reed. And look, I actually think that Bronson Reed and freaking Braun Breaker might win the tag team championships in the down the road. Just to put them on them, just to have if Seth wins the championship, have them have belts. They're gonna do that. So probably down the road. But right now, Roman Reigns.
Brian Silva, what are you saying exactly to my man?
No, exactly. We were talking about the story. We were just talking about
Seth and Roman.
Roman, yeah. Listen, we will see Seth versus Roman, and Roman will defeat Seth. Because that's his hurdle, his demons, his ghost that he hasn't defeated him. So we're going to see that, and I think that's going to mark towards the end of Roman's, really run because he's beaten everybody else. So.
What do you guys think of the report that's coming out that WWE is potentially looking at Corey Graves over Pat McAfee permanently on the Raw booth? WrestleVotes is reporting that while WWE leadership understands the mainstream value Pat McAfee provides due to his popularity outside the ring, there's a belief that gaining traction that Corey Graves is simply too good to be regulated to a secondary role, with some of the within the company having described him as way too good and passionate not to have a consistent presence on Raw or SmackDown. Do you think Corey Graves should go to SmackDown and replace Wade Barrett, or do you think he should replace Pat McAfee on Monday Night Raw?
Well, I'm going to tell you this. There's rumors that are out there that Wade Barrett is going to put the boots on again for a little run. To go back into the ring because there's a story that's coming up. So apparently, the story has it that that Sheamus and friggin' Rusev and
the League of Nations.
Yeah. So they actually mentioned friggin' Del Rio. They mentioned his name, Alberto Del Rio, on Raw last week. On Monday. So. I can see, so the rumor has it that he's gonna lace up for a run to fight. I think Yusuf, and I think that's gonna happen. So you put Corey Graves on SmackDown for the time being, and then you bring back McAfee. But see, McAfee is a wild gun because every time football comes, he's always out. And if you want, you can always put Corey Graves back on Raw when
which is what they're gonna do.
Yeah, so back and forth. You can have Corey Graves jumping from each show. And which he's actually been really good the last couple of weeks. The commentary has been really good off the wit, the commentating.
I've never had problems with him.
I never had problems with either. The whole thing was, I think the whole thing was Carmella. That was the problem with Carmella. How they treated Carmella. And look, and as every husband would do, you would fight your wife. You're going to fight.
Absolutely.
She's gonna have problems with the company, and you're gonna stand like this. My wife is an actor.
You're gonna advocate for her, sure.
Exactly.
I like McAfee more just because of the comedic effect. Like I like his quips, his quick responses, his chemistry with Michael Cole. That's what I like about McAfee. Like he's not as good a color as Graves is, but I think that. Maybe let Graves go to SmackDown and potentially give him that lead role over Joe Tessitore. But I don't. I prefer McAfee. I like Corey Graves enough. I think he's great at what he does, but I like the McAfee Cole relationship on Monday.
Exactly, that relationship is great. That's why I would have Corey Graves on SmackDown, and then when McAfee goes off on his college football and football. You bring Graves onto Raw, and you can have a rotation with his face.
That's going to be happening soon.
Yeah. So there's going to be a shakeup again when it comes to the commentators. So that's that. And as for your comment right there about Randy Orton, I think Randy Orton has another 5 years too.
Yeah, I think until 50. He's 45. I think he'll wrestle till 50.
About 50. So. Like I said, at the end of the day, man, these wrestlers, a lot of them are on their way out. A lot of them, in the next 5 years, they're done. And the money's too good outside the ring with other opportunities. And the thing is, like Orton can always come back for like a main event, a pay-per-view, just for like a one-time thing. But as a full-time wrestler, those days are dwindling down as a wrestler. So, Seth Rollins already said too, another 5 years, another 5 to 6 years that he's going to wrestle. So we'll see, man. And John Cena's on his way out. Like the new people are coming in. We have a lot of new talent, and these guys are going to set the way for the next wave.
All right, that's it for all the news that I had.
We had a lot of news too. Damn.
Yeah. Not really. I just think it was a lot of good conversation. There really wasn't a lot that happened this week in professional wrestling.
We made it good.
Yeah, we'll go with that. We made it great. Very informative stuff, I think. But let's get into doing our reviews, shall we? And we're going to talk about last week's SmackDown. Just programming note, SmackDown tomorrow night was pre-taped already.
Yeah.
We're not going to go over it because I'm not going to give spoilers out for anything. But remember, SmackDown is now going back to 2 hours. So SmackDown is now a 2-hour show. But
so remember, Night of Champions was before this, but we're gonna do the review of this show.
Yeah, so we're gonna do the SmackDown review from Saudi Arabia, review Night of Champions, and we'll get into Raw and NXT for this week. So let me go ahead and pull up our
breaker.
On the mat. All right, let's go ahead and get into our reviews for the show of the week.
Fight, ignite tonight, wrestling fire burns so bright. In this review, we'll show what's true, breaking barriers, breaking through.
So this is your review of SmackDown from June 27th, 2025, coming to you from Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton opened the show with a promo, which was immediately cut off almost as soon as Orton started talking with this message before going to a "We'll be right back" commercial. Pardon the delay. The live event is starting later than expected on Netflix. Yeah, the crowd at Riyadh was insane.
Yes, they were. They were
I think
insane.
there are more events over there.
My
They
God.
do them every year. They were
Listen,
insane, though. Yes.
Cena and Punk match, that was something. Just the crowd, that energy. That's like international soccer energy, if you really think about it.
Yep. What did you guys think of? If you watched the SmackDown, because I watched it on Netflix through a VPN, so I watched it live. But apparently, and I didn't watch the replay, but apparently they shot the segment on cell phones and then replayed it on the US feed from like cell phones. What did you guys think of that? Kind of giving it like a vlog effect. How'd you guys feel about that?
You know, kind of funny is that, you know, it was kind of crazy when it went off. Everybody was saying a camel ate the damn wires. That's what happened. You had a camel freaking chewing the wires, cut off broadcast. Thank God for cell phones. Thank God for cell phones. Yes, I know it sounded like a blog type of thing, but at least we got to see that whole segment, you know, because we would have never saw it, you know. So, yeah, you know, it was a little cheesy. You think $1 billion company is back up, this and that, but listen, when power goes out and things happen, power goes out. There's nothing you can do about that, regardless of the fact that how much money you're throwing at something. You know, the wires, the grid, the power grid, that shit goes out, you're going to lose broadcast of everything. So,
yeah, and the entire segment was pretty much completely lost on the live feed. I looked at it. It was roughly around 40 minutes before the feed came back, and Michael Cole and Wade Barrett were apologizing for the technical difficulties. But it's cool. I might have to go back and watch my taping of SmackDown to watch the whole segment there.
Wasn't me. Don't blame me.
But then we had JC Mateo defeating Big Jim Uso by pinfall with some assistance by Solo Sikoa. Sikoa picked up Uso and offered him a hug, only for Jimmy to slap him in the face. Mateo attacked Uso from behind as Sikoa prepared to hit him with a Samoan spike. Jacob Fatu ran in to make the save. Backstage, we had DIY. We're trying to motivate the Motor City Machine Guns, Los Garza, and Fraxium to stand up to the Wyatt Six. Nick Aldis overheard, and after Andrade walked over, booked a match between Andrade and the tag team partner against Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa. The Women's United States Championship match, we saw Julia defeat Zelina Vega by pinfall to win the U.S. title. I think we all saw that coming. Backstage, Charlotte Flair told Alexa Bliss that she does not need a friend. Bliss clarified that she isn't looking for her to be her friend, but that it wouldn't hurt for them to be on the same page. I think we're leading towards potentially a Charlotte Flair Alexa Bliss women's tag team.
Yep.
And potentially women's tag team champions there. Asuka and Jade Cargill had a promo about Queen of the Ring. Naomi interrupted to say it doesn't matter who wins. She's got money in the bank. Cargill pushes Asuka out of the way to get Naomi, and Asuka eventually took out Cargill to make a statement.
You're not ready for Asuka.
Nobody's ready for Asuka. Adam Pearce and Nick Aldis were talking about still not having the women's tag team title situation sorted out while Aleister Black came over to talk to them, only to be interrupted by R-Truth, who still wants to get his hands on John Cena. We got an interesting development there between R-Truth and Aleister Black going on, don't you think?
Yeah, I actually think that's pretty good because it also leads to the Damian Priest, because Damian Priest is involved in that too. So you're gonna have Damian Priest versus Aleister Black, which will be a pretty good. It should be a pretty good bout. But like I said, and I like how they're using R-Truth. I think R-Truth, you get the comical part out, which sucks. I like R-Truth being funny. You get the more serious side of him now. Do that. But he is going to be a thorn in friggin' Cena's side throughout this whole thing. He might try to help friggin' Seth, take him down. So he's going to pop up and attack Cena any chance he gets. So
I think he might be the reason Cena loses the belt to Cody at SummerSlam.
Yes, right. Could be.
R-Truth went to the ring for a promo only to eat a black mass from Aleister Black. B-Fab told the Street Profits that if needed, she's got their back tonight. Backstage, Damian Priest confronted Aleister Black about what he just did to R-Truth, suggesting if he has a problem with killings, he should just approach him face to face like a man, and things might even end up playing out differently. Black stepped up to Priest, not intimidated, and left. Carmelo Hayes then walked over to butt in the scene and say Priest should mind his own business. Priest told Melo to go away.
Fucking Melo.
That's another one they'd have no. This seems like he's got no direction in the main roster right now. Is Carmelo Hayes?
Yeah.
WWE Tag Team Championship match: The Street Profits versus Joe Gacy and Dexter Lumis of the Wyatt Six was a no contest, as all the other tag teams got involved and ended up turning into a brawl.
That's actually pretty cool. I like that. See, I like when everybody comes in. That was always my thing. You have all these guys come in and they just start fighting, which I like. That's cool.
Yeah, I don't know what they're doing with the Wyatt Six. The Wyatt Six has started to kind of lose their luster. They had that big grandiose debut where they basically killed Chad Gable, shot him in the head, right? And then they kind of were off TV for months, and now they're coming back, and there's no fear to them. There's no reason to fear them. And there's no spectacle. There's really nothing to the Wyatt Six.
If I was WWE, I would make the Wyatt Six a thorn in everybody's side.
I would too.
Make them unpredictable. Come out any match, heel, good guy, whatever. Come out to make a statement. And, you don't even have to put championships on those guys. They can just come out and say, we're just going to mess shit up and we'll be intimidating. I'd rather see that. Have them go from show to show and whatever they come out. Like you could have the Bloodline fighting people. All of a sudden the Y6 comes out and just tries to annihilate, gets into a brawl with the Bloodline and stuff like that. I would definitely like to see that. And Braun Breaker has mad potential. You're definitely right. And that's why that's a Paul Heyman man right there. And that's going to be Paul Heyman's next big guy down the road when Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed break up. And that whole thing goes in a different direction down the road. So, yeah, the Wyatt Six should definitely be involved in just anything. No championship matches, just to raise havoc on the WWE and heel, face, in between, no matter who it is, just come out and interfere in matches. Like when matches get out of hand, you have them come out just to spice up a match even more. And like, the Bloodline, oh my God, why is the Wyatt Six out here? This is crazy. It's all mayhem. I just want mayhem. So, what do you think, Styx?
The Wyatt Six, obviously, they're lacking their main member, Bray Wyatt. I think not having him really killed
But you got
what they were going to do. I mean, obviously, not to anybody's fault.
Dallas, man.
Bray had
Yeah,
know.
but he ain't his brother.
I
He
know
ain't
he's
it.
not. I know he's not.
Yeah, no.
It's sad. It's sad, but hey, things in life, it happen, and you don't know what's going to happen the next day.
Right.
And it's sad.
Yeah, I understand them going forward with it, wanting to continue what Bray had started, but it hasn't amounted to what it would have if Bray were still with us.
Well, look, if you want to make them irrelevant, like I said, just have them go out and cause havoc. They don't need championships. They don't need to freaking put tag team. Just go out and mess up people. Like if it seems like something's getting out of hand with the other, have them come out. Just throw them out there. Like what the hell? Just show them up. Have them show up in NXT. Have them show up. Just have them come out in random places.
You want to just use them as the wild card.
Yes.
Non-championship,
like
anything.
Not championship. Yeah, like
You come
Survivor
out.
Series, right? Like
Well, here's the thing. You have to. I would use them on every brand.
I know. That's what I'm
Come out on NXT. Boom.
Yes.
Going up against Culling. Boom.
Listen, you got War
Raw.
Games coming on, right? You got War Games
SmackDown.
coming out. You have War Games happening in Survivor Series, right? Have them show up in War Games. What are they doing here? And have them, and you could still have the tension between all the other guys. Is just have some random stuff like that and have these guys come out and unpredictable, just come out kicking ass, and people just make it mayhem. Like people look. Sometimes story. Yes, you want story, but when it comes to wrestling, people want to see people wrestle and fight. They just want to see mayhem. They want to see that ring get full of people fighting everybody and just people get thrown out and crazy shit. That's what makes the crowd go wild. So you have the Wyatt Six as that wild card through all brands and just kick ass. And it doesn't matter. Like you freaking you could just make it where it's just fun. Like you never know. Lights go out. All of a sudden they show up and it's like, what business do they have with so and so? Who cares? They're just there. And they just fight everybody.
No,
just do that.
I'm 100% behind that, Dom. I'm 100% behind you with that. I do think they have too many members to that group, but
and you got to utilize them.
Yeah.
That's why.
And you got like I said, you got to put them on every brand. You got to have them go off on every brand.
Have every freaking every show on alert. Like you don't know if they're gonna pop up on the show, and you have people fighting, and and like the Bloodline, the Wyatt Six, man. Look at our team, and then all of a sudden they show up and they fight and stuff like that. It's like just have mayhem, man. Like it doesn't even have to have a story. Just freaking total craziness. That's it.
And you know how I would start them out? Start them out, hopping in and taking out some of those LFG kids.
Yep.
And then work your way through the roster.
Yep.
Because what's the one thing you're not going to predict? Them showing up on LFG.
Exactly. You have no idea.
Or the one on 2B. What's the one on 2B?
Evolve.
Yeah. Or Speed. I guess I've never watched Speed. But that's on X. I've never caught that. I don't really go into X. So.
I mean, what about Dark State? It seems like they're pretty much non-existent at NXT anymore.
Right.
Yeah. Have them show up.
How long were we saying that Trick Williams was their leader?
I still think Trick Williams.
That whole thing petered out. Well,
actually, I still think that Trick Williams does have a say in that. I think when Trick Williams comes to the main roster, I think Dark State comes with him.
I think Dark State. No, I don't know about that.
Dark State sucks. They're not good. Yeah, they're not main roster ready yet. Then we got the last woman standing match, or WWE Championship match: Tiffany Stratton versus Nia Jax, which I felt was a good finish.
It was.
The match itself was a little slow starting. It felt like it was a little sloppy and slow to start with. Like nobody really cared, and the crowd pretty much wasn't into it. But they woke up a little bit towards the end of it. The Naomi potential cash-in got people excited. And it was a good finish with Tiffany Stratton standing strong over Nia Jax. Then John Cena cut a promo about how he's winning and Punk is a loser. Punk then interrupted, coming to out to basic thugonomics, dressed up as John Cena's old gimmick,
That was funny.
complete with the chain, backwards hat, and jersey. He then cut a spoken rap promo,
Punkonomics.
ragging on Cena to end the show, which that rap was awful.
But it was funny though. He goes, "You're my." He goes, "I'm your Ken Kamar, and you're my friggin' Drake." At the end, that was funny.
A rumor has it that promo was ghost written by the wife of the husband of Danielle Fisher, who was Topanga Lawrence on Boy Meets World.
Well, I heard that it was also written by Rhodes.
We have a little GIMP connection.
Yeah.
I know, but I think Rhodes. They say that Rhodes wrote it. Freaking,
You know the GIMP.
GIMP. Yeah.
But that
Funny.
rap, Punk should just stick to dropping pipe bombs and not
Try to rap.
to rap.
Yo, but they have a Topps card that came out. Punk as a rapper as a Topps card, which you get.
But that was your SmackDown. Now we hand it over to Styx to take us into Night of Champions.
All right. I think I moved things around correctly. I doubt it, but
Which, by the way, while Styx is getting ready, thank you for everyone who turned into our live stream and watch party for Night of Champions. You guys were great. I apologize for anyone watching the rewind that there's no audio because apparently YouTube didn't like us using the audio from the show in there. So they copyright struck us and took us completely off.
inaudible.
Yeah, made us completely inaudible. But it was fun. It was a good time. I can't wait to do the next one for SummerSlam. 2 nights for SummerSlam.
2 nights SummerSlam. Hey, Brian, I do like, the Nia or the Charlotte match, over the new school WWE. Bitches can throw down. Yes, they are. And listen, and the majority of them can throw down with me any day. Any day. The Bloodline again, you know what? I'm not gonna friggin' throw shade in the Bloodline, the new 3.0 Bloodline. If they can do things right, Bloodline 3.0 can make a name of itself and be something. It's not going to be the original. We all know that. It's
That's the worry, right? It's going to be just a clone of what we had before.
Yeah, but if they can do their own thing, I think they really can make it happen. Because this brings a whole big thing. Players that you thought might not be involved can be coming down the road, which we could talk about that, man. Zilla, anyone? No.
There's video of him watching that match.
Yep.
From Night of Champions.
And calling Jacob Fatu. All you have to do is call me.
Yep.
So we might maybe War Games. Maybe we get something in War Games. So we're gonna see.
I think so.
That's the whole thing. Now, really quick before we start this, War Games. Do we have how many different War Game matches do we have? Because you're definitely gonna have War Games. You're definitely gonna have these guys teaming up to fight Seth Rollins' group, and then you're gonna have a freaking Bloodline fighting Jacob Fatu's. That's gonna be the 2 War Games. Then you got the women's War Games.
You're going to have the men's War Game, female War Games. You're going to have 2 championship matches and then a buffer match.
And that's why it's 2 nights. You can have one War Game match one night, and then the second one the night.
Oh my God! Please, no more 2-night events.
It is a 2-night event. It's 2-night events the first time.
No, War Games is not a 2-night event.
No,
SummerSlam is only 1 night.
You sure?
Yeah, 100%. SummerSlam is only 1 night. Or not SummerSlam. Survivor Series is only 1 night.
1 night for now.
Yeah.
For now.
Let's keep it that way, please.
Yes, for
I'm
now.
gonna keep it that way, but unfortunately, it's on me. All right,
Well,
let's get to the champions. Come on, Styx, let's do it. I know
we've already had more PLEs before June than we did all year last year. So,
dude, we see the whole year of PLAs in just 6 months. We've got 5
what I'm
months
saying.
this year.
We've got 2 more next weekend in Saturday Night Main Event and Evolution.
I know, but you see, I don't put Saturday Night
and Great American Bash.
I don't think a Saturday Night Main Event is part of that. I think it's just like a regular show. Yes, the PEL, I still think the pay-per-view, but I still think it's just regular. It's on regular TV. It's just fucking Channel 4, Peacock, whatever. Fucking,
Yeah. Don't forget Great American Bash next weekend.
Yeah.
That's or
Big.
maybe do. All right, so here we go. Let's go in. Let's get into the results going on here. As a reminder, our point system was 10 points per match. Winner called, pinfall, or otherwise, and a 10-point extra call, interference, what have you.
Brock Lesnar.
Brock Lesnar, I would have given you 30 points, Don, because you've been saying it for like 3 months. All right, Cody. Our first match was Cody Rhodes winning the King of the Ring.
Why does his head look like that?
Because
That's just the way it
come out.
Yeah, that looks like a video game. You put his video game head on the regular body. What the hell, man?
Look like me. That's
What
me.
the hell is that, man?
I am Cody Rhodes.
We all pretty much called this across the board. I think this was the right choice. I think everyone knew once it came down to Cody Rhodes, Randy, that Rhodes was going over to go to SummerSlam to get his redemption against John Cena. So I think this was a no-brainer.
Yep, 10 points across the board for all three of us. Well, I think everyone had that actually.
But Jesus Christ, you had like 10 minutes, almost 20 minutes before the match even started, because you had both guys come out, the crowd sing both their songs, and not even knowing the lyrics to Randy Orton's song, and it still wasn't even that good of a match. But after watching it back, it was probably the best match of the night. Really thinking about it, and that's really saying something on how potentially the quality of the Night of Champions was.
Oh yeah.
Right. All right, up next, United States Championship match. Solo defeated Jacob Fatu with the help of Cobb, Zilla, or not Zilla, but were they calling him Talatonga?
When the Tongas came back, and he botched the match up too. He botched it too. And when he came back,
well, he almost got taken out put back on IRL during that match.
Yeah,
he got squished.
Yeah.
So, now you know what? This wasn't a bad match. I thought.
How come Jimmy didn't come out?
That's
Jimmy's not there. Too. I don't think he's there. Was he there? Was he on SmackDown?
I don't think he was able to travel. I think he was.
He was on SmackDown. Jimmy Uso was on SmackDown.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, he was on SmackDown.
Yeah,
because he had a match. He had that first match.
Yeah, against Jeff Cobb or JC Mateo, and it's because on SmackDown, Jacob Fatu pretty much told him to stay in his lane, so he didn't come out.
Right.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah. I mean, having, I guess, Tala Tonga, because he's tall, he call him Tala. That's just whatever. Was a good bring in. I was surprised that the other Tonga came back. The other, obviously, his brother or cousin.
So what's his name? Might be coming back soon. Might be coming back soon. So
might be. I don't know what.
We'll see what happens.
I guess to Dom, I would say, are they done? Have they got enough Samoans on there?
Nah, there's gonna be more. There's gonna be more coming. There's a lot more. Well,
I mean, I'm just talking Sikoa here.
I think they're done. The other Tonga's gonna come back and it'll be done.
Yeah, and he's that part of that. You have 5. I think 5 is usually the limit of some of the factions, but who knows? Like I said, we don't know what's gonna happen. So we'll see.
Which I still think, and I know I called this match wrong, I still think Jacob Fatu winning this match was the better play to have, but I kind of figured it was done when they brought Tama Tonga. I can't tell if it's Tama Tonga or Tongaloa, but when they brought him back and then Tala Tonga in there, to have both of them come back and attack, I was like, all right, then it makes sense for Solo to win this. The odds be too much for Jacob at that point. I wish they would have maybe done that at Survivor Series. And had Solo Sikoa win it at Survivor Series, but it is what it is. We're about to see Jacob Fatu have to put together a group to compete with this, and it's going to be, Big Jim Uso. Could they move Jey Uso back to SmackDown? Potentially, but I still think they see dollar signs in Jey Uso being a singles competitor right now. People are still buying the yeet glasses. People are yeeting. People are doing their thing. So yeah, potentially Zillow. Who knows?
Yeah. All right. Up next.
No, you got that wrong. Rhea Ripley defeated.
You got it wrong.
You got that wrong, Styx.
What happened, Styx?
Oh,
He's trying to give himself the points.
I got the point. You give it to me.
I deleted the wrong name, and that's not me. Yeah, Rhea Ripley defeated Raquel. So yeah, maybe I might have threw that up in the point too.
Sticks it again. I want to watch.
Yep, I did.
Go ahead.
I want to Raquel Rodriguez to win, but unfortunately didn't. That would have helped.
Yeah. I think I said on the watch. I said their outfits were almost identical
because they have to wear full.
I know, but
body.
she's got this. I don't know, this pumpkin.
Listen,
outfit on, and
I wish Rhea Ripley would have ripped the pants off and her ass cheeks were out because I hate these full bodysuits suck.
Well, and Roxanne Perez came out in a similar bodysuit.
Yep.
So I think next year during the Women's Royal Rumble, you're going to have all these 30 women in the ring, all in the same outfit. You're not going to be able to tell who's getting thrown out.
Who's blonde hair? Who's this?
Yeah.
That? Exactly. This sucks.
This was an okay match. It was decent. I still think that the street fight or the last woman standing match on SmackDown was a little bit better than this.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people are upset that Rhea won and that Rhea didn't need the win and this, that, and the other thing, but it is mommy's always on top. And Rhea doesn't need a title right now. I think she needs some adversity because she got pushed in the title scene so quick that to go hunt the title and have some adversity would be good for Rhea's character right now. But I'm
personally, I think she's not going to win the title. She's going to fight the Io Sky, but I think that Asuka or freaking what's her name? What's the other chick's name? I keep forgetting her name.
Kairi Sane.
Yeah, her. They're going to interfere with Io Sky, but they're gonna help Io Sky, and then at the end they're gonna attack her.
What was with the random Kairi Sane promo on Raw? Like vignette, like she's just debuting. She was on 2 weeks in a row. Had two people get hurt in her matches by no fault of her own.
I know, exactly.
But then they do a vignette like she's a new superstar.
But I actually think that her and Asuka are gonna become. They're gonna attack Io Sky. Io Sky is gonna have to fight them. I think Rhea Ripley's going to lose. She's going to lose because I think what's going to happen is that you're going to have Roxanne Perez or freaking Rodriguez help that, and then Io Sky is going to they're going to win, and then these girls are going to be out celebrating, and then they're going to freaking attack Io Sky, and that's you're going to have your rivalry with them because that's basically because remember when Io mentioned to Asuka about damage control. Damage control says damage control is no more. Asuka kind of got a little offensive on that about damage control. So I don't know. We'll see what happens with that.
Asuka is no more.
Looks like he's grabbing his crotch. What the fuck?
It does look like
it does look like that.
And look, and Sami Zayn's like, yeah, grab it, baby, yeah.
Yep. Sami Zayn defeated Karrion Kross.
That sucks, man.
Sami Zayn's like, how do you like this Bella and the boy?
He's like, how you like him now? How you like these balls now?
Sammy wasn't going to lose in Saudi, man. I'm here to tell you, there was no way Sammy was going to lose in Saudi. Then the Karrion Kross story kept going on.
Yeah, you did say that. You did say that. Yeah.
Oh. I'm the only one that picked Sami Zayn to win this match.
You were. Which, him always winning in Saudi aside, I still think Karrion should have taken the match. I think it plays out better But again, like I said last week, it depends on what his contract negotiation is, right?
Yep.
So there you go. Not much to say on that one. Jay Cargill wins Queen of the Ring and the best costume of the night as she came out of Storm.
She came out of Storm. That was awesome.
To that in that snowstorm.
Disney, take notes. I told you, Jay Cargill as Storm.
Listen,
Matt said that.
I said that before.
Right,
I've been saying that for a long time, and I even mentioned that to somebody, and I got like all these damn freaking likes on it, and then somebody just mentioned it now. Hear me out. Hear me out. I'm like, I've already said it.
Let's be honest about this match. All right. Jay Cargill being Storm aside, this match sucked. And it sucked, round of applause for Asuka for doing what she could do to sell this match. Jay Cargill, I don't know if she is ready for the spot she's being thrust into now. That she couldn't even pull off her own finisher.
Yeah, I know.
And then she goes and like does her whole like wrench back thing when she's going to the pin and goes too far to where both of their shoulders are on the mat. And the ref didn't know what the hell to do. And so the ref counted the 3 count and still gave her the win.
To
the point where WWE made fun of it on Raw for the double count out or the no winner, the draw.
Listen, I'm gonna ask you something really quick. When she had the fight with Roxanne Perez, right? Did you see when Roxanne Perez grabbed her shorts? She had some kind of thing inside her drawers that was like it was like a cup inside her pants or something like that. And I kept stopping it. I kept like rewinding and stopping it to look at that scene when she was fighting Roxanne Perez to go to the
are you talking like a protective cup?
Something. Yeah, she had something there, and it came out of her shorts, and it's like, what the heck is that? Does she have a pad on or something? What the hell?
Maybe.
But anyway, yeah, this match wasn't that good.
This match was only like 8 minutes long.
Yeah. Asuka, I think Asuka, I think
under 10.
Asuka's still nursing that leg, even though she's good to wrestle, but I still think that because she really had a bad incident with her knee, and that's why she was out longer than she should have been. That's the whole thing. So I think they had to like maybe cut it to a point where I know Asuka did what she can to sell the match, but you're right. Jay Cargill looked a little stale. Was she nervous? Maybe nervous for the crowd because she did have there was a heckler in the crowd. She did say something to a heckler in the crowd when she came out when she won. But
I don't know if it's nerves or what. I mean, I love Jay Cargill, but you can't wrench that far back on that pin to where her shoulders come up and the ref just counts it because that's what was supposed to happen, and the ref still looked like I don't know what just happened.
Yeah, I think it could have been nerves, really hard adrenaline. That really, who knows, man. But it wasn't the best match. But I'm glad she won. Like I said, she won. She's Queen of the Ring. I love the outfit. Like I said, Storm. Like didn't WWE crack down on people dressing up as Marvel superheroes because I think Marvel.
Well, they did Rey Mysterio for a while.
Yeah, Rey Mysterio, exactly. So she came out of Storm. Yeah. You think that they went to WWE and said, "Listen, she's Storm. What the hell?" So, I don't know. It's interesting.
Because with Ray, Marvel issued that cease and desist because he was always dressing as the different characters.
Yeah.
Captain America or Spider-Man or whatever.
But, like I said,
that was a while ago.
Jay Cargill, I think she does. She has the look, the body to be Storm in the friggin'
maybe.
Absolutely.
Acting skills might throw up, but dude,
maybe this is Kevin Feige a spoiler for us.
Just exactly as Paul Heyman says, that's a spoiler for you.
It's not a spoiler. It's not a prediction.
It's not a prediction. It's a spoiler. Yeah.
All right.
So why does he look like he was in a freaking fight?
Yeah.
Faces
That's
all-
the way. That's the way. It is. Undisputed WWE Championship. John Cena retains over CM Punk. Seth tries to attempt to cash in,
Dude,
and then
I
I forgot to put Penta.
I love this. Yo, this was great. I love the fight, that the interference, all the stuff, and all these guys fighting. John Cena fighting bad guys, good guys, all this shit, and going on. It's kind of cool. And you get freaking Penta coming in, slapping five to everybody, taking the sweetest. But why would you want to come to save fucking John Cena anyway? That's what I'm trying to say.
Well, I don't think he was coming to save John Cena. He was coming to confront Seth.
Yeah, just didn't care who was it.
Yeah, he didn't care who he's coming out for. Yeah,
I mean, that's the slowest entrance after Jeff Hardy did some stupid shit back in the day.
I mean, he did everything but moonwalk down that aisle.
Exactly. That was funny, man.
That was really good. And he had a good spot when he dove off the top there.
And then we got a surprising Sami Zayn coming out. So
yeah, but he dove off the stage and took out his own guy when he took out Sami Zayn.
I know.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the real MVP of this match. Referee Chad Patton for little Nate's just getting absolutely obliterated by John Cena.
Did you see his the post after there where he's still on the floor after everyone's leaving? That was great. And listen, I want to continue with that shot. I didn't realize this man was 61 years old.
Who?
Patton. He's 61 years old.
Yeah, Patton.
Yeah, he's like a hell of a shoulder block. But again, the thing that hurts this match is that it was a rehash of the ending to WrestleMania 40.
Yep.
You had everybody and their brother coming out of WrestleMania 40 to help Cody Rhodes win the title. You had everybody and their brother coming out at Night of Champions to help John Cena retain. And you got the Punk and Cena shaking hands and hugging as when they started working together, because it was kind of like the enemy of my enemy is my friend type thing. And that whole realization that we're better together. And then we got the heel turn again. Cena going for the hug, giving the deadpan stare into the camera, going for the low blow, which Punk telegraphed and blocked. But this was a no-show fest, man. Go to sleep. What, Punk hit what? Cena hit what, 4 AAs on Punk? Something like that, 3 or 4 AAs?
I think it was 3.
And Seth Punk was kicking out. Punk hit go to sleeps on Cena. Cena's kicking out. What happened to the day where a finisher was used to finish the match? It wasn't used for setup. It was used to finish the match. I understand the excitement of, you build the allure of this finisher that nobody kicks out of it. And then one day somebody does.
Yep.
And that builds that excitement. That builds the fans. That builds that pop. It gets the crowd a juice. It gives them a reason to be invested. But now it's like, oh, well, he hit an AA 30 seconds into the match. He's going to kick out of that. Oh, we got a GTS 5 minutes in the match. He's kicking out of that. Yeah, it just
really
the allure and excitement is gone. It's just predictability all over the place.
Yeah, at least make it look like it's going to be something that he's going to kick out of, like, oh, he didn't get all of that, type of thing.
Rope break.
So.
Do a rope break. That's fine. Just don't, finish your
It's all
fast.
real, Zaggy. It's all real.
Zaggy, yeah. Where's
here.
the real questions? Is wrestling real? It is 100% real. It may be scripted, but you're still taking the moves. You're still taking the bumps. So in that aspect, yes, it is real.
Yep. Agreed. All right.
Nice try, Zaggy, you butthole.
All right. All right. My Rhea botch aside, it really doesn't changed too much. Yeah, Matt would have had 50. I would have had 30. Don would have had 50 there. But which would push him up just 10 more points. But
why 50?
What do you mean why 50? You don't want 50 points?
Dom had 3 matches wrong.
Right?
There was 5 matches. Was it 5 or 6 matches?
Dom got
matches.
Dom said Solo.
Yep.
Dom had had Rhea. Dom had Cody.
He had Cody.
Dom
had Randy. Dom had Randy winning that match.
Randy.
Dom had Randy winning the King of the Ring. Dom had Cross beating Zayn.
I even rewatched it, and I have him saying that Cody was going to win.
Nope, he said Randy. He's the only one that said Randy.
The one, and it didn't really matter because I had it wrong. I was going to say that he flip-flopped on Raquel, but that was to his.
He went with Raquel. So I have Dom.
And Dom had Cena with Penta and LA Knight coming out.
Yeah, Dom had Cena.
Mm-hmm.
And Dom had Solo. But he picked
Jay Cargill. I had Jay Cargill.
Yep. He picked Raquel in the street fight. He picked Cross versus Zayn. And then he picked Randy in the King of the Ring match. So Dom missed 3.
Well, did you say he picked Raquel?
He took Raquel in the street fight, yes.
All right. See, when I watched it, Dom said at first Raquel was going to win. Then by the time he was done talking, he said, I'm going to switch it and say that Rhea wins.
And then he went back to Raquel because I even went over it at the end of the show and he agreed to the picks. So yeah, he had Raquel.
Right. Oh yeah. I don't think he was.
God damn it, Styx! You did it again.
I think it was.
You Styxed it again.
I Styxed it again. Well, that just means that you and him are tied then.
How? There's no possible way. I only called 1 match wrong. The only match I missed was the U.S. Championship match.
That's it. You had Rhea.
I picked Rhea Ripley to win.
You picked Zayn.
I picked Sami Zayn.
Picked Cody.
I picked Cody.
You picked Jade.
I picked Jade.
And you picked
Cena. The only match I called wrong was the U.S. Championship match. I got Styxed again.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, you should have had 10 more points there because that's the 10 points that I forgot on there. That would give you a total of 70 points.
Right. And Dom should not have 70 points. Dom should have 60.
Right. Right. If you're going to say that he said Raquel, then yes, he should lose those 10 points. Yeah. Or not get him mad at it there.
That's it, man. That's conspiracy. Forget the hell the conspiracy with CM Punk. The conspiracy of me, man.
Yeah.
I can't help that Styx's math just.
Damn, man.
Right.
This is exactly why I did this week. This is exactly why I wrote this down. It even included a little doodle there.
Is there anybody in the chat that can actually freaking goddamn add and freaking multiply? Please let us know.
We're hiring someone with multiplication.
Call us absolutegeek.com and ask for Matt.
I think where the problem comes in is when all these you get thrown out 10 points for this guy rushing in and that.
Well, you know what? No, you know what?
So then it starts confusing you.
In the future, no more the interference. You pick one thing. So and so is going to show up. Interference is that's what screws up everything. Let's just do the matches straight out. Who wins the match, and the interference doesn't be involved. It's just the match that wins. Whoever wins the match. We do it that way. It makes it easier because
you just want winner loser.
Yeah, exactly. Because
and not worry about
because all these.
I added that in to place it in because of the.
I think if it's something like way off,
you call it one way and he calls it the other way,
But I think if it's something that's like crazy, where you're like, oh, Brock Lesnar's going to show up, and it happens.
Yeah.
Then like I was doing with the Royal Rumble when I was saying, oh, so and so is going to get thrown out, and then we're gonna get a 31st entrance, and The Rock's gonna come out. I think that is a good one for extra points.
Right.
But just saying the obvious of, oh well, Hikuleo's gonna show up, and
But then, that's not always guaranteed, though.
No, they're not always guaranteed.
Yeah, so
You're right.
Just do it that way. We do win or lose, like a straight out, even if there's interference. Just
Okay.
like crazy.
All right, I'll take the extra stuff out then. We'll drop that. No
down
problem.
the road. Yeah, this is that. So Matt wins this round. Matt wins this.
All right, then.
And then for the future, like we're not going to have anything for Saturday Night Main Event. We'll do it for SummerSlam.
No. Yeah, we'll do it for.
What about Evolution? We're not gonna do it for Evolution.
Oh, we got to do it. Yeah, we have to do Evolution. Yeah, we have to.
Well, I think we need to get a match card for Evolution first, but
next week.
Right.
It's next week. The Evolution next week.
Yeah, they don't even have 3 matches on there, and most of it's NXT. So might as well just be an NXT pay-per-view.
Yeah. So apparently NXT is gonna be Raquel and friggin' Roxanne. They're gonna be friggin' fighting somebody from SmackDown, somebody from Raw, and somebody from NXT. So there's gonna be 3 teams that'll be made up. So it's Charlotte Flair and friggin' goddamn this girl and friggin' what's her name? Gonna team up to be the the SmackDown. Raw is gonna probably be who can you have in Raw? Just throw money together in Raw. Like
Natalie and what's her name?
And friggin' Bailey.
No,
Natalie and Maxine. And
Maxine Dupree.
Yeah.
And then it's gonna probably be what's the name from NXT. This guy's freaking Trick's girlfriend and the other girl that teamed up. Those 2 girls again.
Oh.
Or maybe Lola. Maybe it could be Lola Bright, her and Jada Parker's in it. Jada Parker's gonna be in Evolution.
Miss Parker.
So maybe Jada Parker gets to a team. She'd be that'd be the NXT.
No, I think she's gonna end up being in the women's battle royal. That's gonna be won by Stephanie Vaquer.
Stephanie Vaquer is gonna win, and she's gonna come up and she's gonna be giving the devil's kiss to every girl. And I'll be like, yeah.
Oh, guys.
Damn
Get a napkin to keep the
Damn you, Styx. Hey, no matter what game you do, we get sticked. All the time.
What makes me even more worried is that Styx is the shaper of young minds and works at a school and he can't even do basic math.
I have nothing to do with their education. Let's be 100% clear. I have nothing to do with the education system.
The establishment.
Yeah. Yeah. Well.
All right. Moving into Monday Night Raw from Monday, June 30th, 2025. Rhea Ripley opened the show with a microphone in hand. She welcomed everyone to Monday Night Mommy. Now the Judgment Day is behind her, hopefully for good. This time, what is next for her? She's interrupted by Io Sky. Io Sky tells her she is not on top because she does not have the title.
Io Sky is so cute, man. She's so cute.
She had a choice of who she wants to face at Evolution. Io wants to defend against the best, and that means defending against Rhea Ripley.
So that is interesting. So I think this is going to get a title shot back, and of course, she's going to wind up getting. There's going to be people interrupting. Raquel and Roxanne are definitely going to be interrupting that match. And at the end, Io Sky, like I said, Io Sky is going to win, and her buddy is going to wind up turning on her. So that's the forte for the future.
Yeah, I think they're building Io Sky versus Asuka at SummerSlam.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's why whoever wins the Battle Royal isn't getting their shot till Perth.
Yep.
Well, that you're saying that Rhea's gonna lose.
Yes, Rhea's gonna lose to Io at Evolution. Mommy, go ahead.
What I'm saying that's the she's gonna lose Evolution because of Roxanne and friggin' and Raquel.
Mommy has nothing but respect for her, but just know she will do anything to get the title back. And if that's what she wants, whatever happens at Evolution, that's what she wants. She's on.
Listen, all I know is that I say that Io Sky's cute. I just said that. Okay.
I'm glad you reiterated that, Dom.
Hey, you got it.
Backstage, Dirty Dom's twin brother, Dirty Dom, tells AJ Styles he still has a doctor's note, so he can't touch him. Styles puts on his glasses and reads that Dom is still a punk ass. Dom doesn't care as he isn't cleared.
Yeah, punk ass. That was funny. That made me laugh.
Our first match of the night was the World Tag Team Championships, then New Day versus the Judgment Day, Finn Balor and JD McDonough.
That was a good fight.
Winner JD McDonough and the Judgment Day become the new champions. Like I said, it's just a revolving door of the same three.
But it was a good fight, though. It was a good fight. I really. Hey, did you see the scene when friggin' JD McDonough jumped off the top rope and Xavier Woods put his feet up? I thought he really kicked him in the face. That was like a little botch there. He probably did really kick him in the face because the way it looked. Like I said, I know they can sell shit really good, but some of the moves sometimes look like that they really get you. But that was a good. I actually enjoyed that fight. I thought it was a pretty good fight.
Yeah, it was, but that's my big thing is that there's no tag team division on Raw.
You see, that's why you put if there's no draft, put the tag teams all together. You can have 2 championship belts, one for SmackDown and one for Raw, but you can have New Day fighting, DI. You can have freaking goddamn the Viking Raiders fight the Wyatt Six. Whatever, man. Motor City of Machine Guns fighting Judgment Day.
Breaking news.
Ooh.
Hot off the presses, WWE reports the Iconics are potentially returning to WWE. WWE is reportedly considering the return of Cassie Lee and Jessica McKay, formerly known as the Iconics, for the upcoming Evolution 2 premiere live event in Atlanta.
Ooh.
According to a new report from WrestleVotes, internal discussions have taken place about potentially featuring the former WWE Women's Tag Team Champions at the all-women's event, now competing in TNA Wrestling as the inspiration. Lee and McKay remain one of the most popular women's tag teams in recent memory, the report states.
I like them, the Iconics.
Iconic. All right. Well, we said it already on this episode that they need to bolster their tag team division. I guess bringing them back.
You're gonna have the Bella Twins coming back too. Maybe. Yeah. Potentially.
I think that's almost 100%.
Yeah.
Breaking news.
Here we go.
The Boogeyman has issued a public plea to WWE Chief Content Officer Triple H, asking for one last run in the company.
Oh, Jesus.
The 60-year-old veteran took to social media to express his desire to return to the ring, declaring that he's ready to revive his iconic nightmarish persona for what could be a final send-off.
He's just going to show up in the closets. He's going to show up in the back segments.
I'm the Boogeyman. I'm coming to get you. That's it. That's it for breaking news right now.
That's cool.
Got a lot of breaking news. Sorry. Had to break that while we were talking. Then we got a World Tag Team Championship match. With that, Bayley and Lyra Valkyria had an argument in front of Adam Pearce, so he booked them in a #1 contenders match for the IC title. Finn Balor has an idea for Adam Pearce and Nick Aldis. How about giving Raquel Rodriguez a new tag team partner? How about Roxanne Perez? The GM talks between themselves for a moment and decides they'll allow this, but they will have to defend the tag team championships of a team against a team from Raw, team from SmackDown, and NXT at Evolution, like Dom stated. Then we got Sheamus versus Rusev, with Rusev picking the win over Sheamus. Chad Gable has an injured arm, but a healthy El Grande Americano shows up during the American Made segment. Congrats to Dom for saying it's going to be Ludwig Kaiser.
You know, it's like nobody pointed it out. As soon as he came, I'm like, oh, he's taking the mantle. It would have way to put him into the thing. And it's kind of funny. He's tall. He looks taller. He's totally different. But you know what? You know what that reminds me of?
100% different.
It reminds me of Plan B from Outer Space. I friggin' Ed Wood's the worst movie, Planet X, worst movie ever made. Bela Lugosi passed away. He got his chiropractor to play the same part, and he was taller and different compared to Bela Lugosi. That was This is what this looks like.
Yep.
Speaking about Ed Wood, did you watch the movie with Johnny Depp? Ed Wood, actually, that's actually a funny movie. The worst directed Plan B from Outer Space. That was like the worst movie ever made.
I've definitely seen that movie. That's a great movie.
Yeah.
It's great at being awful. But
Oh shit.
Uh-oh, what happened?
Breaking news. WWE talent reportedly unhappy with Evolution being hastily produced. WWE Evolution will be held in Atlanta, Georgia, following Saturday Night Main Event on July 13th. However, this show will be facing off against other shows and events taking place simultaneously. Fightful Sean Ross Sapp provided the following report. He said, so a lot of the women that I speak with felt like it was set up. One was put in against All In weekend across the street from Beyonce concert during MLB All-Star weekend, when a lot of the hotels are going to be bought up in the area. They aren't necessarily thrilled with that, but it was hastily produced. WWE Evolution and AEW's All In will be taking place at the same weekend. Apart from that, Beyonce has her Cowboy concert tour in Atlanta at the Mercedes-Benz Stadium between July 10th through the 14th.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
there are, like I said at the beginning,
and Major League Baseball, the All-Star game is that Tuesday. So there's a lot going on. So Atlanta's very happy. You know?
Yeah. Oh yeah, they're going to be swimming in
but
it.
the All-Star game's in Atlanta this year too, right? I guess, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah. So, damn, they got all that stuff going on. He's booked. It's going to be a crowded. Imagine living there and having all those things happen at one time. You know how crazy packed the town's going to be. The city's going to be, and it's going to be freaking crazy. You know,
you've got just about every arena or whatever booked for something.
Hotels. Try to get a hotel.
Yep. Nope. But yeah, they got what is it? All or Nothing or whatever it's called, or AEW. Also, this weekend isn't it Slammiversary is this weekend? I don't think that's in Atlanta too, but probably pretty close.
Well, I think the NXT is going against the AEW's All In.
Yes, they booked them. Kind of seemingly on purpose, maybe.
We'll see.
Who knows? I say yes, but I don't know.
Yeah, Matt's looking over that rumor sheet, over that freaking breaking news sheet like crazy now. There's a whole bunch of stuff coming out at once.
Yeah, all week I've looked for stuff, and then all of a sudden when we're doing the show, they just want to start dropping all this stuff.
Perfect.
It's perfect for the show. You know what I'm saying?
Perfect.
Oh my God. Breaking news. WWE is planning for Jelly Roll to have a major presence moving forward.
Jelly Roll's going to fucking wrestle?
Jelly Roll is advertised for the July 11th episode of SmackDown. An insider suggests that this will be the start of something more. According to a report from WrestleVotes, fans should expect to see the chart-topping artist appear on more WWE programming as the event draws closer.
Yeah, they're going to have a Jelly Roll pay-per-view where he fucking jumps in the ring with a whole bunch of Jelly Roll, jelly donuts, every fucking thing inside.
Who was it that he chokeslammed? The Jelly Roll chokeslammed.
He did so. Yeah, he did. I forgot who he did. He was in a wrestling.
Somebody.
So,
yeah,
imagine your name Jelly Roll. That's your freaking goddamn your name.
Well, that's a stage name. I can't imagine someone would name their kid Jelly.
Is a fucking.
Bad enough
I think
someone
it's- I
named
think
their
his first
kid
name's
Styx,
actually
He needs
right?
to name himself Protein Shake and lose some of that weight, man.
Hey, man, he's lost 150 pounds.
Man, hey, that's good. Ozempic and freaking all that other stuff works good. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, he's doing it the legit way. Exercise and diet. But he's just...
Yeah, he has a diet of jelly rolls.
Oh, okay.
Saying his prayers and taking his.
All right, Tom.
Nah, actually, you know what? All kidding aside,
Yeah, Dom can't eat jelly. So.
he lost the weight. And listen, he's a musician, man. He's making money. He's got bank, so he's good.
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay,
you're
hopefully
here,
we're
he's,
done.
He's there at the bank.
Hopefully we're done with breaking news. Gunther enters the ring and wants to talk about Bill Goldberg. He's gonna go outclass and embarrass him in front of everyone who is near and dear to him. He heard Goldberg doesn't like bullies, which is too bad, as he's the biggest bully around here, and here's nothing he can do about being pushed around at SummerSlam after Goldberg's gone. Gunther will take the question, who's next? Seth Rollins enters with Paul Heyman. Gunther implies they traveled a long way to achieve nothing. Rollins puts him over, but he believes the champion hasn't been paying attention. If there is a breath in his lungs, CM Punk will not be a world champion in this company. They flew across the world to stand on that business. However, he also said when they are ready, they will launch an all-out assault on both champions. CM Punk runs out there to get a piece of Rollins. Mr. Money in the Bank runs away through the crowd as Punk tries to walking away. Gunther grabs his arm, but doesn't like it, and so he pushes the champion to the mat, leaving. LA Knight appears behind Rollins, and they get into a fight in the concessions. Rollins escapes after throwing some drinks in LA Knight's face, which, like, that looked like a mad popcorn shot. Like,
I know.
what was that popcorn made out of? The same stuff they used to make the MTV VMA Awards?
I don't know, man.
Or, well, that's the Moon Man, so it'd be the MTV Movie Awards.
Yeah.
Backstage, the Judgment Day is put to a vote and decides Roxanne Perez will become a new member of the group. Raquel Rodriguez doesn't like it, but tells Perez she better do her part. Roxanne's first order of her business is to take out Kyrie for what happened to Liv Morgan. Kyrie Sane gets a pretty cool pirate princess vignette for why I don't understand.
Yeah, I couldn't understand either.
Then you get Bayley versus Lyra Valkyria that ended in a draw when they both pinned each other. Seth Rollins will face LA Knight at Saturday Night Main Event. CM Punk doesn't seem to like that, so he tells Knight to get in line. As far as Rollins is concerned, Knight has no problem with that, but he is the line now.
Yo, listen, did you see the video I sent you guys with that? They said when Seth was LA Knight was talking to CM Punk, it reminded me of a gay club because the way they were talking to each other. He goes,
"Oh,
I got Seth bent over here, and I'm doing."
Yeah.
That was funny shit. Like just the way they did it. I was like, oh Jesus, that was funny.
Sami Zayn is taped up after being blindsided by Karrion Kross earlier in the night. He and Penta head to the ring. Sami Zayn and Penta versus Braun Breaker or Bronson Reed, with Paul Heyman with Breaker and Reed, the Braun Bronze, as Sam Punk calls them, picking up the victory. They set up Sammy for a tsunami until Jey Uso music hit. Jay takes them out with a steel chair and succeeds in getting them to retreat.
And then who was Paul Heyman calling on the phone? You can't say he was talking to Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins had his own problems. Maybe it was Seth Rollins, but you know,
If you ask Dom, it was Ricky Saints or Ethan Page.
yeah,
or
I
Goldberg.
don't know. Maybe the Rock,
Or,
Final Boss. Nah,
right, Goldberg.
but that was kind of weird at the end. People caught that at the end, like the tail end, because at the end, when we're watching it, I'm like, who's he calling on the phone?
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't know. It could be Seth Rollins because Seth Rollins, you know, broke out after that. And he's calling Seth Rollins that, listen, we got Jey Uso's now in the fold here. Now we got to worry about Jey Uso. But Jey Uso,
Seth was on a plane.
dude, you got so many people that are involved with this this story, which, yeah, it makes excitement, but what direction are they going? How is the final piece of this whole thing gonna happen? You know, Roman Reigns is gonna come back. He's gonna be, and apparently Roman Reigns has a new name, and he's not gonna call the tribal chief anymore. what they're saying.
No.
What is he gonna be, the big dog again?
And maybe big dog, maybe gets back to the big dog again. I don't know. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. You know, it's getting interesting, but we'll see a Roman Reigns sighting, Saturday Night Main Event, because we all know because LA Knight's going to win. CM Punk's coming out. CM Punk's going to come out, and Roman Reigns will come out at the end, and you're going to set up a SummerSlam. You got to have a big match. You know what? They might do the CM Punk, Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins SummerSlam. So
Maybe.
Hey, look, I don't think Seth Rollins is cashing in anytime soon. I think Seth Rollins is going to hold on to that belt to maybe figure November, until Survivor Series. Because, like I said, you got the Goldberg angle. Yeah, Seth Rollins will make his presence known with Goldberg, make his presence known with John Cena. You got these stories that are still playing out. Wait to the Survivor Series. That's when we'll crown a new champion. If Seth Rollins cashes in with one of the champions. Because there's too much storyline going on with everything for him to be champion right now.
Way too much storyline.
Yeah.
I just don't want to see Roman Reigns champion again right now. That's where I'm at.
I don't think we'll get that.
I'm just glad that the breaking news has stopped for momentarily. Oh man. All right, now up next we got NXT for July 1st, 2025. This episode came from the Performance Center in Orlando, Florida. We had Miles Bourne defeat Lexus King. Laney Reed defeated Thea Hale. Joe Hendry defeated Wes Lee. Izzy Dame and Tatum Paxley defeated Sol Ruka and Zariah. Yokeshi and Amaru defeated Jasper Troy to earn a shot against Oba Femi for the NXT Championship at Great American Bash.
Squash match.
And that was it for NXT.
Boring.
There was
I
it.
thought NXT was very boring.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
NXT has been struggling, man. NXT has been riding firmly on that struggle bus, front and center.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
I don't know. What
losing
happened.
Stephanie, losing Julia, kind of like really took a lot of steam out of the show, because I think the women were definitely thriving that show, pushing. Yeah, Jordan Grace. I'm not taking anything away from Jordan Grace or friggin' what's the name that just came in? May.
Blake Monroe.
Monroe, yeah. You know, it's just I think that Julia and friggin' Stephanie had that it factor where they were there and they elevated it to a certain point. And look, like the men's division is still so and so. Look, like you said, you got Trick Williams with the friggin' TNA championship. They needed storyline for him because, like Matt did say, that he wasn't ready to come to the big stage yet. I think after that run with that, he's going. And I think this whole thing with Ricky Saints and Ethan Page is going to come to an end at this. I think Ricky Saints wins the belt. Ethan Page comes up to the main roster, joins Seth's group. And then Ricky Saints stays there for a little bit, and then he eventually comes up. Because the rumor reports are saying that they're looking at both Ricky Saints and Ethan Page to be another part of the members of Seth Rollins' group.
Yeah, they're the two big names that are
that have been floating around. So, hey, look, you know what's funny? You throw those names around. Meanwhile, you got guys in the roster like Karrion Kross that can use a big push to put on a big like a team. You got Sami Zayn, potentially the heel turn, which I don't think is going to happen anytime soon. You know, you got Cody Rhodes that might be turning heel. Did a couple of things, but I understand you got the new guys that are coming up in the roster and you push things. Look, that being said, if there is a draft, you need to have these guys in to be up in the main office. If there is, I'm saying if there is, potential.
But hope springs eternal for you, Doc.
Listen, What's a better chance of happening? A draft or Brock Lesnar coming back?
What's the better what?
What's more of a
Well, if you're
chance?
going to put it to that, yeah, better in the draft.
Or the Brock Lesnar coming back?
The draft.
Yeah.
All right, boys. What are your grades for SmackDown, Raw, and NXT?
Well,
and Night of
SmackDown.
Champions.
Well, SmackDown. I gave SmackDown because it was from Saudi Arabia. This and that. I would have gave it higher. I got mad because of the technical difficulties, which kind of suck. You see it. So I still give it an A. I'll give it an A. I would have given higher, A plus. It's not give an A because the crowd is fantastic. When you go away from the United States, the crowd loves this stuff, and the crowd was rowdy enough to sing the songs. You hear them, just the energy. And the wrestlers love that. You know, they feed off that stuff. So I give it an A. I gave in Raw. I like Raw because, you know, the whole thing with Seth Rollins going in Gunther's face. I like more of that. And I gave Raw an A too because I think Raw was pretty good of what they had. NXT, man, kind of give it a C minus. It wasn't as good as the previous episodes and stuff like that. Like I said, because Stephanie and Julia are gone now, I don't, and potentially going to have other people in, but I think Jordan Grace is going to actually win. He's going to win championship before she comes up.
I think she's going to do it.
Won it by now.
She's going to beat she's going to win at Evolution. She's going to beat JC Jane at Evolution.
That was just a placeholder to have Stephanie come up to the main roster.
Yep.
You know, give her the belt a little bit, and she'll win, and she'll hold that for a minute. But yeah, so A, C minus.
Styx.
I'll give SmackDown. I'll give that an A as well. I'm gonna give Raw I'm gonna give that a B minus. There was some stuff on there I thought were, and then C on NXT. It was good enough to watch, but not good enough to. I said this was a good week. Like you said, their weeks have been in their production value going downhill.
Boys, I don't think you want to know my score. A for SmackDown, D for Raw, D for NXT.
Ooh.
All right. Yeah.
NXT's become boring and unwatchable. Raw was boring. There wasn't a lot going on with Raw this week. It is what it is. Night of Champions was a B for me. And I think the highlight of the week was SmackDown. Like you guys said, the crowd, the doctor of punkonomics coming back. Drug
free.
I really think that SmackDown was probably really the only show worth watching. Night of Champions was okay. But SmackDown was real. Raw and NXT are damn near forgettable. So if I wouldn't have taken notes on them, they would be damn near forgettable. So,
right. I mean, just talking NXT. I mean, I don't give two craps about this whole Chase U stuff.
It's had its run its course.
Yeah, don't care. The whole thing with the Don and that, don't care anymore.
Yep.
Move on. Do something else. Do something else. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you about NXT. It used to be when we started this, just in January, we said NXT was the best product on TV. I can't say that anymore. I cannot say that anymore.
Me neither. All right.
That's where we're at with NXT.
That's our show for this week. I hope you guys got all of your wrestling fill that you did as we get ready to head into another week of SmackDown and professional wrestling. If you guys are in the States, I hope you have a great 4th of July tomorrow. Are you guys doing a qualified tomorrow night or no?
Nope.
Nope.
All right. So you can normally catch more of Styx and Dom every Friday night over on Renovision. You can find the link in the section below for their show, The Qualified. You can find Styx over on his channel Tuesday nights for his Doctor Who Rewind. You can find me here on Absolute Geek all week long, as well as over on Renovision for our Saturday night special with Styx. You can find Dom on the Star Wars show over there on Sunday night. So we're all over YouTube between this channel and Renovision. You can get your fix of all three of us at any day of the week. With that being said, Dom, you're up, buddy. Words of wisdom.
Happy 4th, everyone. Have a safe holiday weekend. Enjoy the barbecues, the time at the pool with the family, the beaches. Just be safe. Be careful with the fireworks. That's all I can say. We're going to hear a lot of stories come Monday, come Sunday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday on what happened with fireworks. Just be safe out there and have fun. And please come back next week as we put another show on here on Absolute Geek off the mat. And that's it, man.
Just put in perspective. Think about it. This is the last day that someone's going to have 10 fingers. Yeah.
Hey, Rose, hand.
Way to put it in perspective.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Way to put it in perspective.
But speaking of fireworks, if you want more fireworks to get your professional wrestling feel, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Click that bell so you know notifications go out whenever we go live with all that pure wrestling content. And we will see you right back here next week for more off the mat goodness. Happy 4th of July if you're in the States, and good night, everyone.
In the ring, the lights go down. Roaring crowd, they scream and shout. Chants echo, shaking the ground. Warriors clash, the game is found. Welcome to